A very good morning, dear participant and respected speaker. Today is the last day of this 2 weeks faculty development program on entrepreneurship, sponsored by the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. This FDP program is organized by the Institute Innovation Council, School of Biomedical Sciences and School of Business, Galgoti University. Today we have various kind of session. In the first session, we have two speakers, Dr. Rakhi Gupta ma'am and Mr. M.K. Sateesh sir. Dr. Rakhi Gupta ma'am will deliver the keynote talk on team building and entrepreneurship. And M.K. Sateesh sir will talk on independent legal, drafting of contract. And we are very grateful that these two speakers has accepted our invitation and grace this occasion. Rakhi ma'am is FDPM alumnus from IIM Ahmedabad, who has propensity toward the academics, research, and training. Currently, she is working as a faculty at Faculty of Commerce, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. She currently serves on the editorial board of the several international journals published from Singapore, UK, and India. She has delivered more than 70 invited talks, and her speaking engagement have taken her to audience in diverse places as a Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai, Canada, etc. She is a member of Board of Study in Commerce for the academic year 2022 and 23 in the CVM University, Vidyanagar, Anand, Gujarat, and Little Flower Education Group in Varanasi. She is an esteemed member of HRDC, Human Resource Development Center at BHU. She has presented more than 50 research papers at various national and international conferences in India, including IIT Delhi, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Lucknow, and abroad. She has also 2 patents to her credit, and she has also published several research papers and review papers in highly reputed journals. So we would like to invite you, ma'am, to kindly deliver the talk. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurav sir. Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Rakhi. A small introduction was given by Dr. Gaurav. Sir, thank you so much. I just hope that I'm able to live up to the expectations of my people today, the august audience that I have today. And my topic is on team building and entrepreneurship. But before I start, I really don't want myself to bombard everyone with the team building concepts and the entrepreneurship. I'm sure over the 2 weeks, everyone has been listening to entrepreneurship and the various aspects of the same. Before I proceed, I would just like to have a small ice breaking session with each one of you. It will just take 1 or 2 minutes. I would just like to know about each one of you, maybe the name or from where you have joined. Since my screen is getting shared, I cannot see the name. So I'll just request that you voluntarily just unmute yourself and just give us a small introduction of yourself, please. Because my topic is such that unless I don't establish that camaraderie with each one of you, it would be very, very difficult for me to get connected. So, Gaurav sir. Yes, please. Just a small round of introduction, very quickly, in just span of 2 to 3 minutes, please. Everyone.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram from the southern part of Tamil Nadu near Rameshwaram. That is in Kidakrai. I'm working as an associate professor in Muhammad Sadak Engineering College in the Department of MBA.
Okay. Wonderful. So you are in extreme south and we are in north.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course, we are the extreme south.
Okay. Thank you so much. You're welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Please, next one. Very quickly, just very quickly. Let's go for the introduction, please. I cannot see the name. Please come up on your own.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Shikha Chauhan. I'm from Amity University, Noida.
All right. All right, Shikha ma'am. So nice to have you. Our ex-Vice Chancellor happens to be the Vice Chancellor of FAMITI Jaipur.
Okay, that's great.
You're
Looking
welcome to
forward
the
for an
session, ma'am.
excellent session from you.
Oh, I just hope that I live up to the expectations. Please don't have too much of expectations from me, but I'll try my level best to deliver what I intend to. Thank you so much. Anyone else, please?
Good morning,
Good
ma'am. I'm
morning,
Bharti.
ma'am.
I'm calling from.
Yes, please. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Shruti Meenakshi. I'm an optometrist, and right now I'm on a break to take care of my 1.5-year-old child, and I'm planning to start my own optometry clinic. And I'm
All
from
right, ma'am.
Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Okay, next one, please.
Morning. This is Rakhi Gupta from Calcutta University as an assistant professor and School of Design.
All right. Welcome. Welcome, Dr. Gupta. Welcome. Okay. Next one, please. Yeah.
So, ma'am, this is Dr. Suyam Prabha, Associate Professor from Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I'm working
All
in MBA
right.
department, ma'am, handling
Wonderful.
marketing and finance.
All right. Okay. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Ma'am, I'm Dr. Shilpa Wadhwa. I am from Greater Noida in management.
All right, ma'am. So nice to have you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, next one,
Madam,
please.
Good morning,
my-
ma'am. I'm Bharti here. I'm from Aditya Institutions. I'm associate professor and working in Bangalore.
All right, ma'am. Welcome. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am. I'm Professor Bonde from Dr. Batulonere Raigarh. I'm a convener of IIT and I'm working for a professor in charge for incubation center.
All right. So nice. Okay. Anyone else?
Good morning, ma'am. Myself J.D. Venkatesh from Youth Engineering College, Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra
Working
Pradesh.
as
Okay, sir.
Dean Entrepreneurship Development, sir.
All right, sir. Welcome. Okay.
Hello.
So, shall we? Anyone else would like to give the introduction, or shall we start now?
Hello, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Dr. Harish Kumar Dhingra from Modi University of Science and Technology, Lakshmangarh, Rajasthan. I'm from biotechnology field.
Oh, so we've got the people from tangent fields also. Okay, welcome, sir. Welcome. All right.
Thank you.
So, anyone else would like to give the introduction, or shall I start now?
Yes, hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I am Dr. Neha Gupta from IMR College, Ghaziabad.
All right, ma'am. Ghaziabad. Okay, I have another session for Ghaziabad also scheduled at the end of the. All right, thank you. So I welcome everyone to my session, and I'm just reiterating that I'm able to live up to the expectation of my August audience here. So my topic for today is basically team building and entrepreneurship. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship or team building, I'll be talking, but I'm sure post-COVID, the things have taken a different toll. So a big smile is a handshake with your face. A big smile from my side to all the participants who are on this platform today. I welcome each one of you from different parts of the country. For example, people have joined from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, Rajasthan, Ghaziabad, Varanasi, myself, from Noida, so on and so forth. So it says that we know that pre-corona and post-corona, though these two phases, they have not been the same. However, post-corona, it is more of the infodemic phrase where everyone has come up with the idea of enhancing themselves or getting more information and getting themselves puffed with every knowledge. Now, we know that we all need oxygen to breathe. Can you all hear me?
Sorry to disturb, ma'am. Ma'am, one small window is there on your screen, so you can close it for the better visibility of the PPT. Yes.
All right. Is it okay,
yes.
sir?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. All right. So I was talking about oxygen. Now, every one of us need oxygen in life to breathe. But however, since we are all from the academic fraternity, we know that we need oxygen for excellence too. Same is the case for the entrepreneurship also, same is the case for team building also, and the same is the case for all the other topics that you're going to encounter with. So according to me, O2 basically stands for offline and online. Post-corona phase, O2 has become an inevitable part of our life. We cannot survive without offline and we cannot survive without online. So I'm sure whether it is team building, whether it is an entrepreneur, he has to take the bliss of the technology. He or she has to take the bliss of the online and offline facilities for the so that he or she can take his business to new heights. Because I'm sure over 2 weeks, everyone must have been listening to the entrepreneurship, and we all know it's nothing but is more of the creation of the enterprise with the help of the skills of the people, with the help of the resources, having the calculated risk, and ultimately we are all aiming to get the profits. So when we talk about all these things are not possible without people. So that is why my topic is team building. And any organization, maybe it a construction company, maybe it a banking company, nobody can survive without the bliss of technology. So as we, the fraternity, academic fraternity also. All right, very quickly, everyone can see this slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So you all are supposed to make a small story, maybe in just 1 minute of time. What all you can see in these pictures. These are the GIF pictures, but somehow they are not working right now. So what can you all think? You know, there's a person dancing. There's a lady riding a bike. Now, what can you think of? Anybody? Anyone?
Madam, these are the activities that normally we did during the Corona period, madam.
Okay, good. So according to this is things which we did during Corona period. Okay, so sir, you're supposed to make a small story, maybe 2-liner or 1 line or anything with the help of these pictures. Huh?
Yeah, morning we had a coffee and we used to watch TV. What are the important news regarding the Corona? And
Okay.
a small bike ride to my friend's house and looking for some phone calls and something like something in the leisure time we used to dance, and apart from this we do some exercise for our health. So I think I
Okay.
can make a small story.
Good. So you are opening your, windows, so getting things very good. Anyone else? So according to you, this is something related with the Corona time. Okay, very good. Anyone else, please? What is your good name, sir?
Okay.
Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram, ma'am.
Okay,
From
Sundaram.
Ramnad.
Okay,
Hello,
sir.
ma'am.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, it is a daily routine what we go through. It could be from morning, taking a cup of coffee, to the juggling of the daily household chores, trying to work out, trying to pursue your hobbies, and then trying to wrap up the day. So it's actually the whole day in short, I would say.
Okay, very good. What is your good name, ma'am?
Carol Karwal.
All right. Okay, very good. Anyone else would like to give a shot?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. This is Manju, Dr. Manju. This reminds me of the morning, hustle bustle with all the working ladies face. In the morning,
Okay.
how they rush up cooking as well as all the other activities, and how they have to balance their life by finding time for their health as well as finding time to spend, time with their children. So it is. I see it as a balancing of work and life. That is work-life balance. How to
Wonderful. Very good. Okay, thank you so much for being interactive. So this is a small story, that somebody talks about COVID time, somebody talks about the females daily chores, somebody is talking, things related with, spending time with kids, and maybe taking out some time for your own health, so on and so forth. So this is basically, had we been in the offline session, I would have divided you into a team, and then we would have discussed how different people work as a team. So no issues, but it was really very nice to have that shot from you. Now, since my topic is relating to team building, and here is a picture that shows about a team and a group. However, at times the people, they get confused between a team and a group. Now, for example, on the left-hand side, you can see people standing. On the right-hand side, you can see some sports team. And the third picture talks about the orchestrated team. Now, basically, what is the difference between a team and a group is that, in a team, people have got a common goal, whereas in the case of a group, they may not be having a common goal, but they may be their objectives aligned with the organizational objectives. However, in the team, everyone is interdependent on each other. For example, we can have a cricket team We can have a management team. We can have maybe if you're organizing any event, so we can have different teams, maybe the decoration team, maybe the catering team, maybe the hospitality team. So team is basically a number of people who are working together to attain the common objective. And however, the best part about the team is that they are known to each other. Whereas in the case of group, they may not have a common goal, but their goal may be aligned with the organizational objectives. People are independent. They may not be known to each other. For example, people may say, okay, I'm working with Adani group. I'm working with the Airtel group. I may be working with HDFC group. So that's a very, very broad objective. At times, this is a very small thing, but people, they do get confused between team and a group. Now, we know when we're talking about the buildings, these are the structures, these are the building structures which have been built. But however, it was not built in a day. However, it was not built by an individual. So is the case in the case of team building also. When we talk about team building, we are trying to have that kind of team spirit amongst the people to so that they are able to attain that goal. And ultimately, what we aim as to have a very, 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 very cohesive unit. Now, I am sure everyone must have listened to the must have seen the Fevicol tube. So there's a word which is written as cohesive. So cohesive is something as a bond, it's a kind of a bond that one has with the group, a sense of belongingness, a platform where they feel, no, this is my team and I must deliver my best. Now, team building is again a process to have a cohesive unit. I'm sure people working in different groups in different capacities. So once you are working with your mates, maybe your seniors, your colleagues, your superiors, subordinates, we all try to become a cohesive unit so that our efforts, they can be orchestrated and our efforts can be coordinated. Now, what a team can do? Team can actually perform. Now, what is the meaning of perform? P is for the purpose and value, E is for empowerment, R is for relationship and communication, F for flexibility, O for optimal performance, R for recognition and appreciation, and M for morale. Now, whenever we are working with any organization, we have a team to accomplish certain goals in life. So we need to have a purpose why a team is being formed. We have the empowerment. We are given certain rights. We are given certain responsibilities, certain authority. There is a camaraderie. There is a relationship amongst the members of the group. And when we are working as a team, we need to have 5 C's in mind. That is communication, camaraderie, the commitment, the confidence, and the coachability. So in case if we have these 5 C's in ourselves, so we can always, the team can perform very well. Then of course, we need to have that flexibility in a team. No I, no me, no myself. When we are working in a team, it is more of we. Whenever India plays any game, see the team spirit that you have. Okay, India bleeds blue. So that is a kind of a team spirit that has to be fostered in the people. Oh, this is my team. I have to perform it in the best possible way. And as an entrepreneur, he or she or the management should always try that they are empowering their team with everything so that the organizational objectives can be attained. Then optimal performance. Any team which is formed, it is for the purpose of getting performance, recognition and appreciation, a small pat on your back. Well done, my boy. Now, this is something which is going to do wonders for everyone. So we need to have, as an entrepreneur or the management, they should know how to have an R&R or recognition or rewards, how to reward the best productive employees or maybe the team, and of course, to how we can increase the morale of everyone. So team, when we talk about the teamwork and team building, so teamwork is when people coming together. Team player is a person who's a part of the team, and team building is a process of establishing a cohesive unit amongst the people. Now, here is a small photo which talks about the teamwork. Working together gets the goods. So here we can see this is just 2 people who are there, but still they cannot speak to each other. They cannot express themselves, but they know how to work as a team and how to accomplish something. So here, this is a small photo, but I'll be showing a lot of photos for you to understand things in a better way. Now, since we are talking about the entrepreneurship, we are talking about entrepreneurs. So why we think we need a team building? Why team building is actually important? Ultimately, you know that an entrepreneur is putting everything at stake. And he's trying to combine the resources, he's trying to combine the skills, he's trying to combine the vision of the company to bring in new products, to live up to the expectation of the people and to earn profits. Now, people are the biggest asset. In case if you're not able to make them happy or satisfied, then ultimately our efforts are all in vain. So why are we talking about team building? Because I will not be taking all of them, but just a few of them. For example, poor communication in the people, or maybe the lack of trust, or maybe a poor job attitude, or maybe lack of leadership, or maybe negative or negativity is there in the organization. People are not supportive. Maybe people are not able to take proper decision. There is no proper coordination among the efforts of everyone. People are not coordinating. People are not cooperating. However, people have a lot of load. The entire management is in a mess, actually. So because of that, because of the number of factors which are mentioned here on my slide, these are the factors which call for the need of the team building. And of course, as an entrepreneur, we need to have these pathways to overcome these problems, maybe of having a better leadership, having better communication, or maybe we are respecting everyone. I am basically from HR department, and I have my own HRM book which runs very well in the market. Almost 2,000 copies have been sold. So in my book, I have written about TRS. Now, these are the three words. In case if you're holding a pen, you can always write it: T plus R plus S. Now, TRS basically means trust, respect, and support. Now, if we as an entrepreneur, if we are able to gather the trust, if we are able to get the respect and give respect, then ultimately we are able to get the support also. Now, this support is what? S is equal to, again, C plus C. That is cooperation and coordination. However, there's a thin line of discrimination between cooperation and coordination. Cooperation is basically something which is voluntary, and coordination is something where we are trying to orchestrate the efforts of everyone. So if you plan to be an entrepreneur, or if anybody who's an entrepreneur, they have to ultimately foster trust, respect, and support. If these three things are there, I'm sure they would have a wonderful team, and their team would do wonders to take their company to new heights. Now, we know this is something about team. Together, everyone achieves more. Now, why entrepreneur should focus on a team? Now, when we know that since he or she is trying to combine the resources and the skills and the vision of the company and own knowledge also, ultimately the skills, we are talking about the individuals, and people, they are the biggest asset. And when we talk about team building, it is basically people management skill that we have. There is more of the enhancement of the social roles, and we are trying to support people who are trying to struggle, maybe our teammates, our friends. But as an entrepreneur, we need to have a very, 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 very solid team, because whenever we are using any kind of resources, it can be 5 M's. I'm sure everyone is from management or commerce, so everyone knows what are 5 M's, or maybe the skills or the knowledge of the people. We are investing so much at stake. So eventually, it is very, very important that we are able to put everything together in the best possible way and orchestrate them and get out of it with the flying colors. So as an entrepreneur, we need to focus on that people, they work together, they can sustain the enthusiasm, and of course they can lend a helping hand to people who need they can always lend a helping hand to people who are in need. Because in the first rule of team building is to establish a team effectively. So as an entrepreneur, the focus should be that how can I have the perfect team, and how I can instill that team spirit? How can I foster the trust? How can I foster the respect? How can I foster the support? That is what is of paramount importance. Now, how does a team work best? A team succeeds when its members, they have a common objective. I told you initially the difference between the team and a group. So don't get confused between team and group. Group is a broader term, team is a narrower term. Team may have a limited number of people, but in a group, there can be large number of people who are not known to each other. But whereas in the case of team, people are interdependent on each other. So as a team, we need to have a common objective. There has to be some defined roles and responsibilities, effective decision-making, communication, and work procedure, and of course, good personal relationship. This personal camaraderie is very, very important, because the kind of connection that we need to have with people will only help us to proceed in our goals. Now, when we are talking about team morale, again, the team morale depends upon the support from the management. If we are talking about entrepreneur, the entrepreneur should understand that my biggest asset is my people. I need to render all possible support I can. Maybe I can support these struggling friends or the teammates, understand their problem, increase the satisfaction level, and so on and so forth. So one has to assure that people are very, very feeling they are very, very satisfied, they're comfortable, and they're giving a lending hand to each one of us. Then team morale depends on the resources, what kind of resources are being provided by the management, how well they are being utilized, that is the productivity. But in case if you ask me what is productivity, Dr. Rakhi, so I will tell you that productivity is equal to E into E. That means efficiency into effectiveness. Now, efficiency is something which says that, okay, no loss, no damage, and effectively basically means the maximum utilization. So if we have the resources at our disposal, we need to utilize them maximum to get the best productivity. Then we need to have a perfect line of communication across the entire structure. And we have to understand that we have got different personalities in a team, and everyone has to be dealt in a different way. Maybe just a small example, a little person maybe getting motivated. Well done, my child, you have done so well. The person may feel motivated. However, on the other hand side, it said, oh, what is this? Just a bad, they should have given us some money. I would have been more motivated. So, the morale and the personalities, we need to have a perfect understanding of the different aspects of the personality also. So when we talk about the teamwork skills, we need to listen to each other. And the simple rule of listening, again in my book, the simple rule of listening is stop talking, stop talking, stop talking. So we need to lend a listening ear to people, what they are talking about. And of course, it's a two-way process. Then once we are talking in terms of teams, we need to question things. We need to find out things. The role clarity has to be there. What am I supposed to do? Why am I here? What is the expectation out of me? And of course, the persuasion, the respect. This is very important. I have been reiterating that there has to be a TRS, trust, respect, and support. There has to be a support in the terms of helping the others. For example, I told you there may be a number of people who are struggling. So how we can best to help them, or share the information which is required, make them participate, make them feel important, because it's a kind of a platform where they can express themselves in a best way. So that kind of bonding, that kind of fostering is very, very essential when we are talking about teamwork. However, there are basically 3 P's of teamwork also. For example, there is purpose, people, and process. Now, when we have a team, the entrepreneur has to understand what kind of people do I require in my organization. Am I looking for skilled one, semi-skilled one, unskilled one? What kind of personalities am I looking forward to? Of course, I may be looking forward to people who can always take my organization to the next level. And of course, because it's more of the application of the skills and your attitude or abilities to get the best out of people. Then the purpose, why are we talking about team? What purpose it is going to serve? When are we supposed to have the team? How many teams are we supposed to have? How we are going to do the clustering, or how we are going to have that structure? And of course, the process is how we are going to take out work from others. Now, for example, India plays cricket. Now there are 11 players. So we know who are the people who are going to bat. We know who are the people who are going to bowl. We know who are the people who are going to field. And of course, we know what is the purpose and how we are going to do it. So these are the basically 3 P's of our teamwork. Now, this is whenever we talk about the team building, we cannot bypass the importance of stages. I'm sure most of them, since they are from management, they must be quite acquainted with these terms. But still, however, there are basically 4 stages of team building: forming, storming, norming, and performing. Now, when we talk about these 4 stages, we have to understand, if you can see this slide of mine, the first step, it talks about the formation. Now, here, when the team members, they come together, they may not be known to each other. Maybe they are traveling. For example, I was a session chair. I was a keynote speaker in Mauritius in 2016. So I flew to Mauritius by Emirates. And since I was also quite excited to fly Emirates for the first time. So out of excitement, I went to the air hostess and asked, just wanted to know more about them. So they said, ma'am, we are 5 attendants and we are seeing each other's face for the first time. I said, How is it possible? So said, no, ma'am, our shifts, they keep changing. Even when we are reporting for duty, we don't know who is going to be our teammates. So that is the first stage of formation, where people, they come together and they don't know who are they. So that is the first stage. And here the red spot, it talks about the performance goal. Now, for example, those 4 or 5 air hostess, they have come together, but the goal is that they need to have a successful flight. So they know their job, but still they are there for the first time. Second step, we talk about the storming. I will be discussing more on that. Now, here he said that here people, ego comes in between. This is more of the stage where we talk about the conflict. Here we talk about people start asserting themselves on the other people. And there may be at times a lot of tension, lot of frustration. There can be a lot of resentment, lot of anger. Why am I being chosen for a team? Why am I the member? So this is the kind of there can be a lot of arguments. There can be a lot of struggle. Again, if you can see the red dot, the organizational, the performance goals are still kept at bay. People are not considering the goals why we are doing it. So this is the second stage. And the third stage that we talk about it is of the acceptance. People say, okay, now since we are a part of the team, we have to do it, and we have to pull in our skills, and we have to show our potential. So we have to think on a broader side. So here people, they start forming as a team, and with maturity comes the stability. So here people are able to keep their arguments, they keep their resentment, keep their frustration, anger at bay, and then they established certain rules and regulation, and then they say, okay, now since we are a team, we have to work. There is no point fighting and for power struggles or something like that. So they start working. And the last stage is, of course, you can see the red dot is like the focus is on the performance goal. Now, everyone, 4 green arrows, they are showing that everyone in the team is focusing on the goals of or the performance goal, or the the purpose for which they have been brought together. Now, this is the first stage. As I told you, the team defines a problem, agrees on the goals, formulates strategies. Individuals take on certain roles, because a team is incomplete if you don't know what role you are playing. And of course, they develop trust and communication. As a team leader, or maybe as an entrepreneur, you have to establish that camaraderie. I told you about that, those 5 C's also. So as a leader of the team, you have to encourage, you have to have the open communication. And of course, we are trying to fix the problem. We are trying to bring that harmony amongst the different team members in the the first time when they're coming together. And of course, there is a lot of encouragement, recognition. So team leader plays a very, very important role. So even if I have been talking about the Emirates flight, so even the person who's heading those cabin crew, he has a very, very important role in assuring that the flight is a success one. And then there are certain secrets to building up the employee loyalty. Of course, we know that I have talked about TRS, trust, respect, and support. So we need to have that kind of communication. We have to talk about, we have to recognize people, we have to educate them, we have to counsel them, and above all, we have to empower them, and empower them. Without empowering, we cannot expect to have anything better. Then the second stage, it talks about as I told you, this is a stage where people are struggling with their power. People talk about I, me, myself. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of competition. People, they want that people, they should listen to them. There's a lot of assertiveness here, and there's a lot of a lot of tension can brew up, a lot of frustration and anger. So at times it leads to arguments which may not be healthy. So this is storming stage. Here the members realize the task is more difficult than they have imagined, have fluctuations in attitude, or maybe resistant to the task. Why should I do it? That kind of attitude can always be the part of it, and they have the poor collaboration. So in the case of a team, the entrepreneur has to be very sure that people are not fighting. They are moving in the same direction as the team, and they know about their roles and responsibilities. The communication has to be perfect, because lack of communication will lead to misunderstanding, and the things will topple down very badly. And of course, we have to understand that, do we have that kind of interpersonal skill? Why should I listen to the other person? The person should listen to me. That kind of feeling people have at the time of this storming stage. Then in the case of negotiating conflict also. There can be different problems, different issues, but at times people, as I told you, with maturity comes the stability. So here the people have to be soft, people who are little, because in a team everybody may not be of the same age. They may be people with different education background, different experience. So you have to have a little mature mind, and then you have to be more soft on the people and hard on the problem. And of course we have to understand that we are here for a common purpose. So here if we talk about the addressing of the problem, people are non-judgmental, and here we have to clarify now, okay, we are here, we have to keep our personal attitudes, the fluctuations in attitudes, they have to be kept at bay. And of course we have to listen to each other, and we have to come to the common conclusion. Okay, now we are part of it, and we have to proceed. The third stage, it talks about the norming stage. It says that during this stage, members accept their team. Okay, there is no other alternative. I cannot run away from this team. I have to work with this team. So, okay, I have put my egos at stake. Then team rules, people, they start talking about the rules and the procedures, their role in the team. Anybody who's the leader will allocate the role. Okay, you are doing this, you are doing that, you are doing this. So once there is role clarity, one is able to perform better. And of course, team members realize that they're not going to crash and burn and start helping each other. So this is the stage where they conform to the rules of the group, and they start behaving in a cohesive way. And of course, and when we talk about the behaviors, here the behavior pattern changes from competitive to cooperative. People say, okay, we are not competitive, we are not having competition, we are cooperating with each other. There's a willingness to confront the issues, okay, and solve problems. Okay, now since we are working as a team, okay, let's start. Now, what things have to be done? We talk about in that sense. And then team develop the ability to express criticisms and the feedback. And of course, there is a sense of team spirit. Team spirit is something, which gets fosters, like when you were in school, maybe your school played a basketball team, played with some other school. Though you were not a part of the basketball, but still you said, okay, SMC, come on. We used to cheer up. So that is known as the team spirit. Maybe in case if you had a match in our school only, maybe you are from red house, green house, blue house, gold house. So if it was a match, inter house match, so you would foster, okay, green house, okay. So that is the spirit that one should have as a team member. So here in the third stage where people develop that kind of spirit. Then lastly, we talk about the feedback, constructive feedback. As a team, we have to understand that feedback and the criticism should always be welcome. We don't have to be judgmental, we have to be excuse me, and we have to be more descriptive. And however, the feedback should be given in personal, and then we should be ready to receive the feedback carefully also. So we need to acknowledge the feedback and criticisms. They are going to help the team become better. So once we have a team, there are certain things which are related with performance. So people have to have appreciation. It can be in the form of incentive, it can be monetary, it can be non-monetary. Those efforts, they have to be recognized. Now, since I have just planned for a very, very small activity, because the time that I was allocated, it was from 10 to 10:50. So there is a small activity which I have planned, and it's time for some action. So my dear colleagues, are you holding a pen with you? If you're not holding, just pick up a piece of paper and a pen. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Everyone who's joined, I cannot see the names right now because my screen is shared. So just pick up a pen
Yes,
and a
we can hear.
paper. Yes, please. Just pick up a pen and a paper, ma'am. All right. And imagine yourself that you all are divided into few teams. Maybe you are in a team of 4 each, or maybe you're in a team of 5 each. Since we are virtually connected with each other, just imagine yourself that you are in a team. All right. Shall I proceed now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you all see this? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is
to see a
basically
triangle. Yes. Orange triangle.
Yeah, it's orange, but I painted it red. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is, I will just give you, since we are running short of time, I will just give you 2 minutes of time. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself that you are in a different team. All right. Everyone is sitting in a team. What you're supposed to do is take up a pen and imagine what this triangle looks for. Look up like, what are the items that you can think that it can be? For example, I'll just give you a few examples. For example, this triangle can be a cap. It can be in a shape of a samosa, so on and so forth. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yes.
All right. So just quickly, in just 1 minute span of time, pick up a pen, just open your mind and see, what this triangle can represent to you. It can be any color. It's not necessary that it has to be a red color. Okay. So it can be any other color triangle. So just quickly, in just 1 minute span time, just write down what all things you can think that this triangle can represent. I've just given you a few hints. It can be a samosa, it can be a cap, it can be a cone. Now I leave it to you now. Over to you all. Just 1 minute time.
Shall I, ma'am?
Yeah, please write it, ma'am. Write in a piece of paper.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now, shall I start?
So just 1 minute. just few more minutes. Few more seconds, sir. I'll also open it. Huh? I hope everyone is writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Trust me, there are a number of things that you can think of. Just close your eyes and see and feel that everyone is contributing for your team and have that kind of team spirit, maybe team A, B, C, D. All right, let's quickly take it up. All right, so I cannot see the names, so I'll also start writing. All right, so let's see what you have written. Anyone, please start.
Ma'am, to my knowledge, ma'am, I am Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram. To my knowledge, it shows the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, organizational structure, organizational structure, service marketing triangle, and apart from this, service marketing triangle.
Service triangle, okay.
Between the communication, internal communication, integrated communication, like. Then in general, it gives me a picture about the roof of the hut.
Correct, roof hut. Okay, good. So everyone who's listening, please cut the common points. In case if you have written about the hut, please cut it so that we can come up with the rest of them very quickly. Huh? Yes, root. Any other points, sir?
Ma'am, I would like to contribute. I visualize this as a table, ma'am. A triangular table, white in color. People sitting around, a new team, planning about what they have to do, discussing and taking decisions. And the top of the triangle represents the senior most person who will be contributing or making suggestions. Others, it shows a hierarchy too. So this is what I have visualized.
All right, good. Anyone else? What else you can think of?
I want to, Dr. Rakhi, I would like to contribute.
Sure, sir.
And I believe this is a Mount Fuji where I am carrying a flag of India and trying to unfurl.
Very good, very good. Okay, Mount Fuji. Okay, what else, sir, you can think of?
Ma'am, this is Vandana.
Hello.
From me, this could be looks like a pyramid. So to reach to the top of it, we have to build
pyramid.
the
So
ground
pyramid is
with
okay.
great
Just
strength.
one word. Sir, we are running short of time. Just one word is enough. Pyramid, rooftop, table, Maslow, Mount Fuji. What else? Please come up quickly. Anyone else?
Yeah, it can be a triangle as a logo on a shirt.
Triangle? Huh?
Ma'am, zenith. Zenith. That means tip.
Okay. Yeah,
highest point.
Zenith. Ma'am, I want the items that one can think of. This can be a cone. This can be a cap. For example, somebody said pyramid. What else you can think of? Just open your windows. Windows.
Ma'am, it can be a tip of a pencil or a pen.
Tip of a pencil. Very good. Yes, tip of a pencil. And what else?
Logo on a shirt.
Huh?
Ma'am, tip of an arrow.
Tip of an arrow. Okay, good. What else?
Educational
Logo
toy for a child.
in a shirt.
Shirt button.
No, logo. It's like a logo, triangle, like
Logo.
you
Okay,
have
okay, okay,
Nike
okay. Yeah,
logo.
yeah,
Ma'am, a folded handkerchief. Ma'am, a
Folded
folded handkerchief that is
Yes,
just
yes, very good.
looking out of the pocket.
Correct. Very good. What else? Come on. There's
It
so many things.
can be a sort of a visual representation on a wafer packet.
Wafer packet. Correct. Very good. What else? Think.
Be a prism.
Ma'am, it is.
Prism. Very good.
Ma'am,
Yes.
it is a. Ma'am, it is actually the
Orange
logo of
fruit
family
cake.
planning, which is an inverted form.
Logo. So logo is already done. Logo is already done. Somebody has
Logo.
already told about.
Logo of family planning, but is inversely done.
Acha, logo for family planning. Okay, no issues. What else?
Orange topping on a fresh cream cake.
All right, very good. Topping on a dessert. Okay.
Front
What
side
else?
of the engine, front side of a flying train.
Flying train. Okay, that's something innovative. Okay, flying train. Just quickly, we'll just give this a few more seconds because we're running short of time. Anything else? Okay, I have got a lot of other things written. Okay, so but more or less you have given a big hand for every one of you who has given me so many things. However, there can be other things also. For example, it can be an axe, it can be a fan, it can be a pakoda, it can be a cone, it can be a cap, it can be a nacho, it can be a castle, so on and so forth. But still, people have come out with different things. For example, topping on a dessert or logo of a family planning was new to me. So we see that with the help of this activity, we just participate because we are running short of time. Otherwise, I do this activity for almost half an hour. So we know that as a team, we can come out with our creativity. Everybody can come out with their own creativity, with their own innovation. And then with the creativity and innovation, we can always solve the problem of the group and take the group to the next height. So this was just a small activity which I wanted to do with you to give you a feel that you are a part of a team, imagining that you're sitting in a team. All right, so this was the last stage where we have performed. Team members, they have gained the insight into the team processes and a better understanding of the strength and weakness and ability to prevent the work or the conflict. And of course, here people feel more attached. So this was a small activity, of course, with few seconds only, but still there was a hidden meaning. So in the case of this team stages, forming, storming, the individual goals are for priority. Then in this storming, norming, performing, team needs, they become priority. And then by the time we reach the performing stage, the task becomes of paramount importance. So there are the few recipes that, for a successful team. Of course, we need to have proper communication, role clarity, balancing, so on and so forth. However, there are few tips that I would like to tell you, that we need to team the praise regularly. If you are an entrepreneur, if you happen to be the management of the company, understand that people have that psychological feeling of getting praised. So praise your team, praise your members, establish that kind of brand loyalty amongst the people, foster that kind of trust, and of course the support system also. So we need to avoid criticisms. We have to be transparent. We need to have communication, so on and so forth. Then we talk about how the team can perform. It is with the help of the SCORE. That is an acronym that I have used. That is, we need to have a perfect strategy. We need to have open communication. We need to have a rapid response from the team members, effective leadership, so on and so forth. Then, however, there can be the steps for a dynamic team. There has to be a driving passion. We have to come out with the mission and the vision of the company. It has to be in alignment with the team objectives also. And here we talk about that we have to strive. We have to give them the real goals. We have to identify the roadblocks, bottlenecks. We have to make efforts that bottlenecks and problems, they are sorted out in a team. And then we have to, because we are talking about the dynamic team, we have to thrive. We have to give the criticisms, but they should be taken in a positive way. The feedback has to be taken in a positive way. Only then we can improve. There should be more of the collaboration, less of the fighting part. And of course, there should be more of the empowerment. And then last one is arrival driving. That is when we're talking about the dynamic team in an organization, or in case if we feel that we are an entrepreneur, we need to celebrate success, R&R, reward and recognition. The progress has to be there, and regular meetings to overcome the problem. And the last one is revive. Again, we have to see where we have making mistakes, how we can regroup it, how we can realign the objective in case the objective is not achieved. So ultimately, with this driving, striving, thriving, and arriving, an entrepreneur can be on the top of the mountain. As anybody said, it can be the Mount Fuji. So in case if you have a perfect and a dynamic team, the entrepreneur can take the organization to the top level. And at last, I had thought of giving you the 5 finger rules for entrepreneur. It talks about the contract, the team contract that we have. Everyone has got 5 fingers: the thumb, the pointer, the middle, the ring, and the pinky finger. So thumb, it says, okay, thumbs up. That is the recognition we are giving. The pointer is that it's representing the blame. But again, you have to see, why are you blaming? Why are the allegations? How we can overcome in a team? That is very essential. The middle finger represents the negativity, which should not be brought into the group at any cost. There should be a lot of positivity. There should be a lot of trust, respect, loyalty level, commitment level. The camaraderie and the interpersonal skills should be quite strong. The ring finger, it says, okay, we are doing perfect job. And the last one, it talks about...
Continue.
And the last one, we talk about the pinky finger. That is, we are talking about the trust. We are one. I'm small, but still I'm contributing to the team in some way or the other. So we trust where we can only trust when the conflicts are minimum, and there is a lot of camaraderie, good communication, the coachability, the counseling, the feeling of supporting each other. So here in the team, when we talk about team building, the me has to be converted into we. And it says that anytime you stop trying to get better, you get worse. So as an entrepreneur, you need to see your team, where your team is, how your team is performing, what are the bottlenecks, and how can I make my team better to achieve our objectives in the best possible way. So that kind of attitude one should have. And it says that be pura, that provide yourself responsible avenues for success through teamwork. So everyone who's here on this platform, so feel that, okay, we are a team and we can contribute a maximum to get the work done. Now, my dear friends, put the pen down, and whichever way you're sitting, on a bed, on a sofa, on a seat, just sit back and relax as if you are sitting in a cinema hall. I'm just closing my presentation. I'll take few seconds. So everybody who's here on this platform, don't take off your eyes for next 1 minute. Let me take you all to a flight of fantasy of teamwork. So put your pen down, put your mobiles down, just concentrate on my slides just for a few seconds, and let's see what team building or teamwork is all about. Let's go. All right, the first picture, teamwork, the results of teamwork. They are people who are trying to get the work done. Second picture, every team member can help. So if you are part of the team, don't feel that you are oblivious. You are contributing in some way or the other. So everyone is making effort. It's a beautiful pic that I came across. Here again, a picture of teamwork. 3 people want to cross the bridge. How they do it? With the help of teamwork. 2 hold, 1 hangs, 1 go on the other part, the second hangs, then the third one hangs, the other 2 go on. So here, rather than having competition with each other, we have to be having cooperation spirit amongst us. Everyone has to hang in there. If you are a team, you have to hang in there. We feel that kind of team spirit fostering. Then a teamwork, integrity and accountability for commitment to excellence. When the team will excel, it is not the individual. The team is going to get applauded. The team is going to get recognized. And of course, the accountability lies with everyone. Here, the teamwork. Large ambitious goal usually require people work together. So if you wish to see, at times, sometimes you bend, sometimes the other bend. No, I, me, myself, the me has to get converted into we. So if you are in a team, the upskilling is very essential. And as an entrepreneur, this big hand you can see, it can be of the entrepreneur. So he has to ensure that he has a perfect team with the upskills and the recycling of the skills as well, to face the competition, to face other things in life. So you're working as a team. Your entrepreneur is going to help you to work together without bickerings, without frustration, without anger. So here a big hand is again of the entrepreneur. An entrepreneur will only have a successful team when he or she will empower them to move ahead in life, removing all the bottlenecks, but of course, keeping in the company's objective in line. So this is again a GIF file. It says, okay, a big teamwork, all 5 people working together. In a team, there's a we part. Okay, we can do it. It's we. Me is converted into we. Here, it's a beautiful example of 2 girls, teamwork. You know, your mission will only get accomplished when you lend a helping hand. Again, a beautiful pic. We can save people. We can help struggling mates. We can help struggling friends to overcome the problem. But when, of course, once we are acting as a team. And it says when birds fly as a team, their speed increases by 30% and needs less effort. So this is a beautiful story. I don't have the time to tell you all, but of course, when birds they fly together, their efficiency increases. Individual, if you're working individually, so 7 plus 7, 7 is 8, 28. But teamwork is it's all into multiplication, 2, 4 or not 1. And people say that there's a wrong meaning of team. Top executive alone matters. No, it's not so. The correct meaning of team is total effort to achieve more. That is what team understands. And as an entrepreneur, one should understand this word. And every team can be successful. So ladies and gentlemen, make excellence a habit. How far you can go, my best wishes to each one of you who is here on this platform today. And these are my books on HRM and other book, which runs very well. And those who are into management, they can always recommend my book. So be a good team player and excel as an entrepreneur too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a very beautiful and nice presentation, very informative. You have concluded your presentation in very short of time. So yes. So dear participant, if you have any query, you can ask.
Because I know it's a time for the next presenter also. Sir was quite nice to me to give his slot to me. So I'm thankful to sir also for giving me that time span. So I had to finish well on time, though I am 7 to 8 minutes late, Sateesh sir. My apologies.
No problem at all, madam. It was pretty exciting. In fact, it could have gone for another 10 minutes as well.
Okay, thank you.
Only thing is the organizers are running short of time. Even my schedule is going to be only.
No, I
an excellent presentation on your part.
But but I had to. I'm still 7 minutes late because if I would have not shown that, the meaning of team building would have been incomplete without that activity and without the photos that I have made an effort to collect at one go, sir. So that is what I was keeping a track of the time, sir. So I was myself moving very, very fast.
Presentation was very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
So, participant, if you have any query, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah.
Oh, sir.
And yes, and please switch on your camera for a group photograph.
1 minute, sir. I think I've done something wrong. I hope I was able to live up to the expectations. Somebody said, ma'am, we have got great expectations from you today.
Rakhi ma'am, your camera is not on, I think.
So, but I can see my pic. Is it?
Yes, sir. It is on, sir. It is on.
Okay.
You can see her.
Her face is visible, Dr. Gaurav. We are able to see her. We are able to see her. I would say she's a pretty busy bee sort of a person.
Anybody who's from the management, please do recommend my book. I'll share the links with Gaurav sir, so it can be shared in the common group. So since I'm in the starting of my career.
Is it available on Amazon? Your book on HRM, is it available on Amazon?
Sir, actually, my publisher, he succumbed to COVID. So he died during the time of COVID. So
maybe
I have
we
not
can all get a complimentary copy from your end.
But it is not possible as of now. But yes, you can order it from your organization site. I shall share the link and everything with Dr. Gaurav, sir. So you can get it.
If it is available on Amazon, we can place an order and get it now. As simple as that.
Sir, he's come to COVID. He's no more my publisher. So that is a little a dicey situation. So, but still, you can place the order through other ways, sir.
If it is available in Higginbotham's also, nothing like it, because Higginbotham's you have all over the country, in many places. Yes.
I'll just see. I'll just
in
see.
South India, in almost all the railway stations, you have this Higginbotham's where you find
Not
books
travel
from
to
different
south so
authors.
frequently. So not travel to south so frequently. But yes, of course, before COVID, I was traveling as a resource person to Chandigarh, Nashik, Pune. So I keep on delivering on various platforms. So thank you to Dr. Gaurav, sir, the Galgotias and other institution people who have given me an opportunity to get on this platform. And I hope, because I was there was paucity of time, so I was trying my level best to finish it well on time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's our honor that we have you as a keynote speaker at this FDP program. So kindly accept e-memento on behalf of organizing committee as a gratitude. Yes, ma'am.
I hope you're going to mail me this, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Satish, sir, to you.
Yeah, you're welcome to watch my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gaurav sir, I'll leave because I have to run.
But I'm sure.
Okay.
I can have the recording of Satish, sir. I'll definitely look into it later on.
Yes, ma'am. I will share.
And I'm getting a lot of claps also. Thank you so much to all those who are giving me those claps. Thank you so much. Okay. Have a beautiful.
Okay. So we have thank you so much, ma'am. So dear participant, our speaker has the MK Satish sir has joined from the morning, and let me introduce first. MK Satish sir is an experienced industry professional, having spent over 40 years in the construction and manufacturing sectors. He worked as additional general manager legal and credit control for the Lloyd Insulation India Private Limited, first in Delhi and thereafter in Chennai, looking after the legal and credit control operation for entire
It's a
South
public
India.
limited company, Dr.
Okay.
Gaurav.
Okay, ma'am. Oh, sorry for this. Okay. Post retirement, he had an eventful tenure with Jindal Aluminium Limited as head of internal audit and legal compliance, heading as a team of 10 auditors taking care of finance audit, tax audit, plant operation audit, beside auditing of the group of institutions. He holds 3 master degree, MCOM, MBA in finance, MBL from the National Law School, Bangalore. And beside this qualification, he is also a qualified independent director from IICA Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. So welcome. We are welcome you, sir. And we are very thankful to you that you have taken out some precious time for the talk. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Okay, now shall I share the screen?
Yes, sir, you can share.
You're able to see the screen now? Dr. Gaurav?
Yes, sir. Currently,
You're able
no,
to
sir.
see the first slide? Not it?
Not yet, sir.
1 minute. Yeah, now it will. Now you're able to see?
Participant, are you able to see?
Are you able to see the slide?
Sir,
No, sir.
no, sir.
Not it?
No, not sir.
No, sir.
Not yet, sir. Not yet.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Presentation is not visible.
Now you are able to see, I hope so.
No,
Not
sir,
yet,
still
sir.
not shared, sir. Still not shared.
Visible, not visible.
1 minute. I seem to have some issues at my end. I'll just set it right.
Yes, sir, it can be due to the network issue.
Yes. You have to put Control Shift and what else? Which are the key you press, Mr.
Sir, there is a okay. Okay. Now it is visible, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Now it is visible, sir.
Now it is visible? Yeah.
No.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Giving this wonderful opportunity to make this tracks. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of drafting of contracts, we first need to understand what do we mean by a the Indian Contract Act, Section 2H defines a contract in very simple terms. An agreement which is enforced. Going a little bit more deeply, Section 10 of the Indian Contract Act talks about the essential elements of a contract. When we see the definition of a contract, it talks about an agreement which is agreement. It consists of a proper offer plus acceptance. I will elaborate on this a little bit. And the second part is contract, which is equivalent to. We talk about an offer. Now, what do we mean by instance? We go to a car showroom and the salesman offers to sell a car and we accept that offer. And then subsequently, we get into the documentation. Now, when the documentation process starts, it means we have entered into a contract with the showroom of that particular agreement with the Hyundai showroom for the purchase of the car, and they have made you sign the documents and conditions, and you will get the car after the proper order is placed. Due consideration is paid in terms of price. So, takes care of the first part. Now, when we come to the second part, we say a contract is an agreement. All contracts are agreements, but all agreements need not necessarily be contracts. This is very important to understand. Now, supposing I get into some sort of a personal agreement, say he gets into a personal agreement with his wife. I'll give you 1,000 rupees if you reach the cinema theater in 5 minutes. And she reaches in 5 minutes. Now, force this agreement by telling Mr. Gaurav, I reached in 5 minutes, you pay, give me that 1,000. Purely personal matter. This is the contract agreement which can be enforced at law. I hope you understood this part. Enforceable at law. Now I go to the next slide. where you will get more details. Now, according to section by free consent of the parties which are called, there is a lawful considerable object and expressly declared to be void by law. So this elements to contract, the following 6 elements need to be present. The first element is there should be free consent. The second one is
lawful consideration.
To the contract should be to contract, and they should have the capacity to. There should be lawful consideration, and the next declared as void. That means the agreement is enforceable. It should not be a void agreement. Now, the last one is a very important aspect, consensus ad idem. This is a I will elaborate on each of these elements a little bit more in the next slide. When we talk of free consent, what happens is for a contract to get contract must have willingly given their free consent. Now I'll just give a small example. Now
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Yes. Sateesh sir? Okay. I think sir has lost the connection. Yes.
you're able to see me, sir? All of you?
Not able to hear.
Now it's okay, sir. It's okay now.
No, is the
Presentation is not visible.
visible now?
You are visible, but presentation is not visible.
1 minute. 1 minute. Now is the slide visible, sir?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Still not, sir.
1 minute. Yeah. Now?
No, sir, not yet. Not yet, sir.
Now is it visible, sir? I don't know what's wrong.
It is
No, sir,
visible
not
to
yet.
me.
Huh?
It is visible to me.
It's visible to you, sir?
Yeah, it is visible and I could hear you.
How about the
No,
rest
sir,
of the
we can hear you, but
participants?
we can hear you, we can see you, but not presentation, not presentation. We can see you, but not the present, not the slides.
I think there is a connectivity issue here, internet connectivity. Just hold on.
No, but I am hearing your voice clearly.
Yeah, you're able to see me also clearly, but
Everyone is
Yes,
everyone is able to hear.
I could hear.
Everyone hear you and see you, sir, but we are not able to see the presentations, sir, the slides.
Okay, sir, you can share the presentation if you want.
You can share the presentation with the Gaurav sir, and Gaurav sir
Okay.
can share later on.
Yes.
From his
1
end.
minute. Now is it visible, Dr. Gaurav?
No, sir.
I don't know what's
No, sir,
happening.
presentation is not visible. You are visible, your voice is clear, but presentation is not visible.
He has not started the presentation.
Now?
Yeah, you start the presentation. It is quite visible and we could hear. Audio is clear, video is clear.
No, but then the slides are not visible. The other participants are telling, sir.
Sir, slide is not visible with anyone, not anyone. Your face and your voice is clear because you have not shared
That's all.
screen yet.
That's all. Correct. No slides are not visible.
Okay, then in that case, if there is a difficulty in sharing the slide, shall I proceed with the presentation then, verbally?
Yes, please.
I seem to have some issues in the screen sharing part. 1 minute, Dr. Gaurav, maybe I can share the screen with you. I don't know why it is happening every time.
Yes, sir, please share.
Now, Dr. Gaurav, this PPT which I have, I will share it on WhatsApp right away. Now my PPT is visible, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible. Now it is visible. You can proceed now. Now everything is okay.
Yeah. Now I'll
presentation mode you can do, sir.
Yeah, I will quickly go through all these slides till this. We are talking of drafting of contracts. I'm basically going to go through fast. We are talking about the definition of a contract. Section 2H of the Indian Contract Act. It defines a simple, it defines a contract in a very We'll go to the next slide. When we say the definition, you can split the definition into two parts. One is there is an agreement. An agreement, it consists of an offer and acceptance. And the second part is the contract comes into force once that agreement is enforceable at law. When there is an offer and acceptance, it culminates into an agreement. Now, I can give a small example. Say any one of us, say Dr. Gaurav is going to a car showroom and he intends to buy a Maruti Suzuki car. and the salesman offers him a car for sale. So here both the parties agree. The car is being offered by the showroom and it is being accepted by Dr. Gaurav. So here there are elements of an agreement. Now that agreement can actually become enforceable at law when actually that agreement gets converted into a proper document of sale between the showroom and Dr. Gaurav. Now, once that agreement is drafted, it will have different terms and conditions, warranties, and it will also show there will be 3 free services being done. All this is put into the document. Now, coming to the next slide. Section 10 says all agreements or contracts, if they are made by free consent of the parties, free consent word is very important here, which both the parties are competent to contract and there should be lawful consideration. Now, if you take the first example, here when we talk of consideration, it normally means money consideration, something in return. That means Mr. Gaurav wants to buy a car and the showroom is willing to sell him the car. Now the car will be sold to him when Mr. Gaurav gives 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs, either upfront he pays the entire amount or he takes it in installments or hire purchase or whatever is applicable. So here the car is the consideration for Gaurav, the buyer, and the money which Dr. Gaurav pays is the consideration for the seller. And there should be a lawful object. See, the purpose of the contract should not be illegal in nature. Now here, the car has been purchased for a lawful use, for his personal use, and maybe commuting to college and coming back. And such an agreement which can be implemented during the normal course of law, it should not be declared as void. So these are the basic small things that we need to look into. Now, when you actually see the contract, there are basically 6 elements that go into a contract. First is free consent. Number 2, parties to the contract should be competent enough and they should have the capacity to do the contract. There should be lawful consideration, there should be lawful object, and the agreement should not be declared as void. And the last aspect is consensus ad idem. Now, elaborating on these characteristics, on these 6 elements, free consent. For having a proper contract, initially the parties must have given free consent. During the entire course of the contract, free consent is a very important element. Neither of the parties should be under any form of duress, or nobody should force them to get into the contract. A short while back, I gave an example, somebody showing a gun at the head of, say, Dr. Gaurav, and he is being forced to sign a document. Such a document is void and is voidable at his instance. That cannot be implemented in the eyes of the law. So we can safely assume, in the absence of free consent, the agreement becomes void. Now the next aspect is competent to contract, capacity to contract. See, under the Indian Contract Act, a minor or a lunatic or a drunkard or a person who has been declared insolvent or is undergoing insolvency proceedings does not have the capacity to contract. And if anybody by mistake gets into any sort of agreement or a contract with such a party, that contract will be deemed to be void. It cannot be implemented under the law. Now, the next aspect is lawful consideration. See, when we get into an agreement, I gave this example of buying and selling of a car. Every agreement must be supported by money consideration. Consideration means something in return. Here in this example, something in return is, for one party it is money, coming to them, and for the other party it is the vehicle which they are purchasing. There should be a lawful object to the agreement. It must be, in other words, it must not be illegal, immoral, or opposed to public policy. I'm not getting into the complete details due to shortage of time. Going to the next aspect, agreement should not be declared as void. The agreement must not have been declared expressly void by any law of the country. For example, supposing you get into a wagering contract or an agreement in restraint of trade, all are declared void. As per the Indian Contract Act, only such contracts which are not declared void alone are considered as valid contracts. See, when we talk of a wagering contract, supposing you are going to a horse race, you are wagering a bet on a particular horse with another gentleman, and you agree to pay if a particular horse is going to win the race. Such a contract, though there is an agreement, is void in the eyes of the law because a wagering contract is considered illegal. Now, the most important point is consensus ad idem. That means, what it actually means is both the parties should be in agreement with each other. They should be on the same page insofar as the subject matter of the contract is concerned. I'll give a small example. For example, A has two cars. Say he has a Santro and the other car is a Maruti Swift. Actually, A is offering to sell Santro to B. But B in his mind is thinking that A only has Maruti and he agrees to buy the car. Here, if you see the actual scenario, the ground reality is here the two parties are thinking differently about two different subject matters. So there is no identity of thinking and hence the agreement is void. I hope I am clear, gentlemen. Any questions so far?
No, sir. Everything is clear, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, coming to the next slide. Now, I'm going to basically jump to the drafting of a contract. I'm taking a very simple commercial supply and application contract, because if you see, there are different types of contracts. Like you can have government contracts, you can have franchisee contracts, you can have e-contracts where you actually perform the contract through a platform, and that platform is your desktop or laptop or your mobile, wherein you're buying an item. Like say you're placing an order on Amazon. Here what happens, Amazon is actually acting as the medium for your purchase. You are directly not in touch with the seller. The buyer and seller are going through the platform. So that is an e-contract. Similarly, you can have franchisee contracts where you actually appoint a franchisee to sell a product. Like that, you can have different types of contracts. Now, I'm taking a very simple commercial contract drafting. Now, when we talk of a simple commercial contract, I'm talking about a supply and application, or you can call it as a supply and installation contract. Now, I'm taking the example of a installation contract. Now, supposing you take party A, say it is a MSME unit. It is manufacturing insulation material and it intends to supply that insulation material to a buyer who is interested in buying the insulation material, and he also wants the installation of the insulation material to be done by the MSME unit. And now we can say supposing the buyer wants goods worth say about 5 crores. He says this 5 crores should consist of both the supply part as well as the installation part. So he says he would like to have a lump sum quote. It can also be a unit price contract, like you can say per unit, that means per square meter of insulation work you carry out, this is going to be your price. So I'm just giving you a brief introduction how a simple contract goes about. So the first part is you basically give your requirement, and then the next aspect is the specification part, which is the most important thing in a commercial contract. Then you have something called as the price clause. Then you have the terms of payment. Then you have warranties, force majeure clause. Then you have non-disclosure confidentiality clause. Then you have something like CSR clause, quality systems clause, and then you have completion period, and then you have something called escalation clause, and then you have something called penalty clause, and then you have finally a jurisdiction clause. Below the jurisdiction clause, you can have an arbitration clause. Now I'll go into a little bit detail against each of these clauses. Now, when we talk of subject requirement, under the above clause, the parties to the contract will define the requirement of the subject matter. Now, the next part comes to specifications. The specification of the product needs to be very clearly defined in a contract. Now, when we talk of specifications, now we are talking about insulation material. Now, where we are talking of supply of insulation material, the buyer has to clearly give the specification of the material as to how much will be the density of the insulation material, what will be the thickness. Like for instance, he may say he would like to have density of the material as 100 kg per meter cube, or say 120 kg per meter cube, or it could be 150 kg per meter cube. And the thickness of the insulation could be say 25 mm or 50 mm or 75 mm or 100 mm, depending on the requirement, depending on the temperature parameters that have been set for that particular equipment or pipeline. I'm talking about a process industry where this insulation material needs to be supplied and installed. Now, after the insulation material is supplied, it needs to be put firmly in position with a proper GI wire netting, and finally that will be clad with an aluminum sheet, plain or corrugated, with 22 gauge aluminum sheet or 24 gauge aluminum sheet. Like that, it depends on the customer. You just have to visualize the situation like this particular specification. Say your the MSME unit is going to do the supply and install the insulation material in a refinery, for instance. Say it's going to do this insulation work for CPCL, Chennai Petroleum Corporation Limited, and the insulation has to be supplied and installed on various equipment and the pipelines that go through the plant. Now, what happens when you're in a process industry? You'll have the equipment running at very high temperatures. So there is an element of human touch risk that goes into it. That is the reason why insulation is provided. And on top of the insulation, you will have the aluminum cladding. Now, what happens is when you have a dense layer of insulation material, the heat ingress, the heat that comes out of the insulation, it gets reduced considerably. Because normally in any process industry, you'll find the temperature parameters maybe in the region of 800 degrees centigrade to 1200 or even beyond that. So when a pipeline is running at such high temperature, if you just put your finger on the pipeline or the equipment, your fingers will get burnt immediately. So for human protection's sake, this insulation material is supplied. So I have explained here in this particular slide. So a specification becomes a very important clause in a normal works contract. supply and application, that is. Next important thing is the price aspect. Now here, when we talk of price, what happens is in a government contract, normally, I've not put it in the slide, but I can tell briefly, explain very briefly. In a government contract, what happens is the design, the drawings are given upfront to the supplier, to the contractor to submit a proper quote. So based on the designs and drawings, the total quantity required for the contract is calculated on the drawings. Now this is what you call as is drawings at the end of the contract once you execute. Now they'll give you the preliminary drawings based on which you need to calculate your price. Now supposing the buyer gives the option of say you can quote on unit rate basis, you can quote in INR, and if it is a foreign supplier and if the quote is being permitted in dollars, they can quote in dollars. It could be per square meter. Like when I say per square meter, you are actually supplying the insulation material and installing the same. And when you take the measurements after completing the work, the final price has to be arrived at. So the measurements will be taken for the insulation material that you have supplied and you have installed on the equipment or the pipeline. So the unit of measurement could be either in square meter or running meter. So accordingly, your price will vary. For equipment, it could be on square meter. For your pipelines, it could be on running meter basis. Now, what happens is when you get into a contract, the price, supposing you say the price has come to 5 crores, the lump sum price, or unit price you calculate and it comes to 5 crores. The entire 5 crores will not be paid upfront to the supplier by the buyer. So what happens? They normally take recourse to paying the amounts in tranches. Like what happens is your terms of payment can say 10% of the supply of the order will be paid on submission of a bank guarantee towards advance. 70% on supply of material. It could be on pro rata basis or the entire material could be landed at site. And then 15% could be earmarked for erection or installation of that material. And then finally 5% on completion of the entire work on submission of a proper bank guarantee towards security deposit or towards performance of the material which you are supplied and erected. All these percentages are calculated based on the requirement of the buyer. See, they cannot afford to pay the entire money. If they pay, say, even 50% and the supplier absconds, it becomes a problem. So that's the reason, while even paying the initial advance, they take a bank guarantee. A bank guarantee is taken to secure the advance that is being given to the supplier so that the buyer's interest is taken care of. Now, the next condition, the next clause that comes in the contract is something called as warranty. Warranty is nothing, it's just a sort of a written assurance given that if something goes wrong, if some material is defective or something is not working, you will agree to repair it or you will replace it completely. Now the next important clause in a simple contract, we talk about force majeure clause. Force majeure is nothing but which states that in the eventuality of a, say, a natural disaster like floods, or you say an earthquake, or say something like lightning, or act of God, like it can be anything where the parties have absolutely no control. In such an eventuality, both the parties are completely relieved of their responsibilities and the contract stands discharged. When I say the contract stands discharged, that means the contract gets closed due to force majeure. Then the next important clause that can be included in a contract is non-disclosure confidentiality clause. Like what happens in a simple contract, the example where I gave, here the parties to the contract, they have to agree to keep the matters relating to the contract confidential and not disclosed to any other party. Like for instance, if it's a government contract, normally what happens, the buyer will negotiate considerably with the supplier, and the supplier, that is the MSME unit, maybe sometimes to get the contract, reduce the price with very little margin. Now, such an information, that is price sensitive information, should not be leaked out to others. What will happen if others get to know? They may tell, you have done this job for this rate, do for the same rate. So that is why this non-disclosure confidentiality clause is normally included. The next important clause that is there in a contract is the completion period. Now, when we talk of completion period, normally both the parties, even before entering into the contract, they will agree to a particular completion period that is required. You can say that is reasonably required to complete the contract. So the duration of the contract needs to be defined very clearly. The next very important clause is something called as escalation clause. You will find in most of the private contracts, escalation clause is not included because normally private parties prefer to keep the prices firm. They do not entertain escalation. But in government contracts, they normally have an escalation clause in the terms and conditions of the contract. Now, what happens is they give the benefit of doubt to the supplier, because in the eventuality of the contract period getting extended, say if the contract completion period was for 6 months, 5 crore contract to be completed, say in 6 months. Now, due to some reasons or the other, the buyer has not been able to release work fronts where the supplier is unable to supply the material and also do the installation. Say in this given example of a process industry. Now, what happens if the erection contractor has not erected the equipment or has not installed the pipeline? The installation contractor, he just cannot supply. He can supply the material, but he will not be able to install the material. So in such a case, there will be an escalation clause which clearly states that in case of extension of the contract, the escalation clause will kick in, wherein escalation becomes applicable beyond the contractual completion period. Now, what happens is normally under the escalation clause, there will be a formula which is published by the buyer. I mean, the buyer will give the basic formula and the data has to be picked up from different journals. Normally, if you find, you will find the labor journal publication from the Government of India, which is published under the signatures of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Now, what happens is normally in such contracts, the wholesale price commodity index will be taken as the base. Now, when we talk of wholesale price commodity, you will find different commodities coming in that list of items. Now, in this particular contract where we are talking about supply of insulation material in a process industry, you will find insulation material falling under one head, and you will find aluminum cladding coming under the head of metals, like that. So you will have to split up your supply part into 2-3 different categories and then claim your escalation from the buyer. If the contract completion period has got extended due to the fault of the buyer, if the supplier has delayed the contract, then the consequences are entirely different. I'll come to that shortly. Now, what happens is when a supplier has defaulted and he has delayed, there's something called penalty or LD clause. I think I have not put the details here, but I can briefly explain. An LD clause is basically a liquidated damages clause which is made applicable where the supplier has delayed the contract. Normally what happens is beyond the contractual completion period, LD may be applicable, say at the rate of 0.5% or 1% of the remaining part of the contract for every week of delay. Now supposing there is a 1 month delay and you say 0.25% for every week of delay, or say 0.5%. 0.5% for 4 weeks translates to 2% of the remaining portion of the contract value. Now there will be a total cap on the LD part. They could restrict this to 5% of the total contract value or 10% of the contract value. Because if that becomes open-ended, then the supplier will completely lose his money. So there will be a cap put at the appropriate place. So this much value of the contract is the maximum cap. Supposing the contract value is 5 crores, 5% of 5 crores, the buyer may say is the maximum LD that is applicable to the contract. Sometimes you will find instead of LD, they will be mentioning penalty clause. So here the penalty clause, it could be something like the party may say, we will levy a penalty of this much X amount if the contract is delayed. It could be some lump sum amount. And when the final bills are settled, the penalty is deducted and the consideration in the form of balance money is to the supplier contractor. Now, the last part of a normal contract, simple commercial contract, is this jurisdiction clause and also the arbitration clause. Normally, the jurisdiction clause, if you see, a buyer will normally mention the place where he is situated as the place of jurisdiction. Supposing party, the buyer is in Mumbai and the seller is, say, in Ghaziabad. What happens is here the buyer will mention Mumbai as the place of jurisdiction. That means if any disputes arise between the two parties, they have to be referred to Mumbai jurisdiction. I hope I'm clear on this aspect. Gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now
Yes,
coming
sir.
to the arbitration clause,
Yes, sir,
this is a clause which comes below the jurisdiction clause. Now, you will find in most contracts, arbitration clause is invariably mentioned. This particular clause, if you see, it's a standalone clause. It's a contract in itself. When I say standalone clause, even if the contract has failed and if there is a breach of contract and there is a failure of performance of the contract by either of the two parties, the arbitration clause is a standalone clause. It's a contract in itself. It can be implemented by either of the parties. That means where there is a breach of contract, one of the parties can invoke the arbitration clause and claim damages under the Arbitration Conciliation Act. When I say damages, basically they can put forward their claims and then counter claims will come and then there will be an arbitrator who will be adjudicating the disputes. So gentlemen, this is in brief about a simple commercial contract. If you actually look into a government contract, it will be running into hundreds of pages. The document will be bulky and very voluminous. I have tried to cover the basic principal clauses that go into a normal contract, normal supply and application contract. Now, you can have different types of contract. The clauses will vary depending on the requirement of the parties. So that's all about drafting of contracts. And any questions, please, you're welcome. I'm ready to answer. Dr. Gaurav?
So participant, please, now your turn. So please unmute yourself and ask if you have any query.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
I think someone is interrupting with the mic, sir.
Then can you speak a bit loudly? I'll clarify.
Sir, please unmute yourself. Sir, Sundaram, sir, please unmute yourself. I have muted all the participants. Yes.
It is
Yes,
audible? Is it audible?
Sundaram, sir.
Is it audible, sir?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. You are
Sir,
audible.
actually, in
Speak
the
a little bit
Contract Act
loudly.
1872, in the Indian Contract Act 1872, we always refer to the misrepresentation or fraud. Am I right, sir?
Misrepresentation of?
Fraud. Misrepresentation or fraud.
Yeah, misrepresentation and fraud. True.
Yes, sir. At the same time, we also say that a caveat emptor, that is, let the buyer be aware.
Yes.
So how these two contradictory things are present in the Indian Contract Act, sir? Because we say that misrepresentation is the...
See, I'll tell you. Misrepresentation and fraud, this is something, see, by the very words misrepresentation and fraud, the intention of the person who is misrepresenting the facts is basically to lead the other party, to mislead the other party, and by misrepresenting facts, he is cheating the other party, he is deceiving. Similarly, when you talk of fraud, you're trying to commit a fraud on the other party by misrepresenting facts. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here, it could be either the buyer or the seller. The buyer could be cheating the seller, or the seller could be cheating the buyer. Now, supposing, I'll take this small example. The seller has misrepresented the density of the material. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
When he has given the specification, instead of giving 150 kg per meter cube density of material, he says you supply 100 kg density of material and supply the materials, go ahead with the erection. Here it's a clear misrepresentation of facts. Tomorrow what will happen when you are supposed to use 150 kg density material, the temperature parameters will not be met. Now that particular equipment, high temperature equipment, if that temperature is to be maintained, if you have a lower density material, there will be heat loss. The temperature will not be maintained. So
Yes,
your
sir.
process will fail. Supposing some liquid is passing through the pipeline, if that liquid is to be maintained at say 1200 degrees centigrade, and instead of ceramic material, you are supplying conventional insulation material, what happens is your contract will fail miserably. There, it is a clear-cut case of misrepresentation. It's a mistake.
Yes, sir.
No
Yes, sir.
doubt it's a mistake on the part of the buyer, but it's a costly mistake. It's a misrepresentation on his part. He cannot say, "Arey Baba, galti ho gayi." गलती इस तरह की गलतियां कोई नहीं करता, क्योंकि before a tender document is prepared, there will be a committee consisting of financial person, technical person, and the commercial person, and they'll be reporting to the director of the company or the managing director of the company. So collective responsibility hota hai. So misrepresentation and fraud can happen in individual small contracts, not in commercial contracts. बहुत rare होता है in commercial contracts where you find things like misrepresentation of fraud. Yes, willful cheating, willful default, or you can say deceiving. Supposing the supplier wants to deceive the buyer. Instead of 150 kg material density, he supplies 100 kg density without the buyer knowing. There, he is committing a fraud. I hope you understood.
Yes, sir. But actually, we say that a caveat emptor, let the buyer be aware.
See,
So
that
in
is
that
a
case,
different concept. You should not bring it in this context. Caveat emptor means basically, caveat means in the eyes of law, you are telling the court, before you give a decision in a particular litigation, supposing somebody has filed a litigation and he is wanting to go to the higher court. Now you go to the higher court and you file a caveat. That means you are telling, let the other party beware. You are telling the court, sir, before you give a decision in the appeal which is likely to be filed in front of you, please listen to me. Please hear my version of the case. That is what you call as caveat.
Okay, so that the seller cannot say that you must be aware of the thing because before purchasing the product, the seller cannot
he
say.
Has every right to say. He has every right to say. Seller has every right to say to the buyer because the buyer knows what is his requirement. Seller is there to supply the material as per the requirement of the buyer. The buyer has to give the specification, but if the buyer commits a mistake and if the seller is aware, he is definitely, if he's a person of conscience and if he's a honest person, he will definitely tell the buyer, "Arey bhaiya, aisa mat karo. Ye karoge to aapko nuksan hoega. You do like this." You can guide the buyer and ask him to specify a particular product or a particular specification which will meet the requirement of the buyer. See, by doing so, he is not doing a service. He is actually upholding his responsibility as a responsible supplier. I hope I am clear. Dr. Gaurav?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Meenakshi, I hope your doubt is cleared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Sateesh ji, quite an interactive session. I had one question relating to your list of item which goes into contract. So how flexible is it according to Government of India regulation or Indian, codes?
If you go according to Government of India rules and regulations, the first thing they will tell you is, please fall in line with all the terms and conditions that we have given in the booklet. If you deviate even from a single clause, your quote will be rejected upfront. They will not accept your quote. They are not flexible. But yes, they are open to discussion after the contract is awarded. Then within a particular, a clause, if there is room for accommodation, they will definitely accommodate. But otherwise, you go to a government contract, you take a railway contract, you take a roadway contract, highway contract, all the terms and conditions, you have to accept. You cannot deviate from the tender terms and conditions. It's just not possible because they don't give you the room for deviating. They go with a particular mindset, ye contract aise hi execute karna hai. It's like telling either my way or highway.
Well put, Sateesh ji. Thank you very much. Vivek Suman here.
Yes, gentlemen. Any other question? I think Dr. Gaurav, the ladies in the group are very silent. Huh?
Yes, sir. So if you have any query, you can ask.
I'm sorry for the delay and small inconvenience.
No, sir. This is, we are very grateful, sir. You have conducted very informative session, and we have gathered here to learn something, and it's our honor to listen you at this moment. So any participant, if want to share their feedback, be ready. We have 15 minutes of time for the feedback session. So if you have any query, you can still ask to our speaker.
By the way, Dr. Gaurav, I thank you very much. And
thank you, sir.
I thank the Vice Chancellor of Galgodias for giving this wonderful opportunity, and your committee of senior professors and associate professors who are involved in this entire exercise. And also, I would like to thank the Ministry of Science and Technology, under whose guidance you have conducted this 2-week program. It's been a very excellent, I would say, 2 weeks, and the speakers are all very well informed and well qualified and educated people. It's really excellent, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, kindly also accept. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind word, blessings, and consistent support. Sir, you were the pillar for this FDP. You have.
It's my pleasure, sir. I
yes,
think
sir.
you are extolling me. It's my pleasure. I am a very humble person, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So kindly accept, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So if any participant want to share, sir, you can also be with us if the time permit, allow you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
I'm with
yes,
you.
sir.
I will go through the valedictory function. I have time. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So participant, if you have any, you can share your feedback if you have any. If you
Dr.
have any
Gaurav,
issue, yes, sir.
Dr. Gaurav,
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes,
if
sir.
any participant wants to send any mail also, because contract drafting is a very vast, huge subject. What I have dealt with is only a minuscule part of it. And I
Yes,
have dealt with the main important clauses that go into a contract. And now I have dealt with a simple commercial contract. You will see there are different types of contract. Like, I can give you an example which can be very embarrassing for people. Like, you have contracts of agreement before marriage. You have contracts, franchisee contracts. So many agreements which are enforceable at law. Now, anybody has any doubt, I'll be too happy to clear their doubts. You can tell them to send mail. I'll answer them through mail also. You have my mail ID, Dr. Gaurav. You can share with the participants in the chat box. So if they have any queries, they can even put forward a query on the chat box.
Yes, sir. So welcome you all the keynote speaker, the co-PI Bala sir is also came join us. Several speaker Vivek Suman sir has joined with us from since morning, and Praveen Kapoor sir is also there. So we are very grateful to have you all. So dear participant, if you have any feedback, if you want to share something, you can share.
Sir, shall I share my?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, first of all, I thank the group of the people of Galgothias University for arranging a wonderful this FDP. And it has, I think, I feel that I am in the family of Galgothias for this for 12 days. So, and one more thing, I appreciate the work of Dr. Gaurav sir, because it's the first thing is an excellent coordination, and there was even a single minute was not been missed with the speakers, because I could see that the speakers are they are ready to give the speech even before the time. I could see that every day, all the days, all the 12 days, I could see that the speakers are waiting for before the stipulated time. And also I can see that the speakers, I could see that all are very good eminent speakers. I could remember, because I could not remember all the names, but I could remember some of the names like Vivek Suman sir, then Praveen Kapoor sir, and Neelam Saksara ma'am, and Sateesh sir. So I could see that very people are very, because I could see a lot of industrialists, and I could see that a lot of people who have great knowledge. And one more person, like Subhota, I think so, I could not remember his full name. He was very interesting in this guitar music and this thing. So even the entrepreneurship, we gave a lot of ideas regarding this requirements for the current scenario. So I thank all the speakers for sharing their knowledge with us. And I feel like I am one of the member of this Galgothias University, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was a very excellent session for me. And I also appreciate, once again, appreciate Dr. Gaurav sir for his for his tremendous efforts for arranging this FDP and making this FDP a grand success. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Any other participant?
Hello, sir. Gaurav, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Namaste.
Namaskar, sir.
Thank you, Vivek Suman sir. Sir, my experience is great, and experience diversified field and almost 99% cover. So I am happy with this faculty development program, and one thing is that it is free. So I am thankful to Calcutta University for providing the beneficial and informative knowledge for me. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much,
So, good morning, sir. I'm Bharti here. The diversity of the topics that have been covered throughout this session was amazing. And the insights that has been given by the speakers were so great that we can, start. Hello, yeah, we can start applying it. And then I thank especially for the dedication and the effort that the organizers have been put for this particular session, because calling so many speakers is not so easy. And then, yes, the speakers who has taken their time, thank you very much for your time, sir. And it's really a great session for all of us. We learned a lot of new things which I didn't get anywhere, anywhere throughout my studies and all. So this is like, a stepping stone for me to be an entrepreneur. I'm very thankful. I think I've tapped this program at the right time, which is really going to help me a lot in my future. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So you can also criticize. You can give the critical comment also if there are any flaw in the FDP program. You can also highlight that one.
We couldn't see any flaws because all positive things are there around us. So there's not even 0.1% that we could see a flaw here in the session.
It is better than the best, sir. It is better than the best.
Thank you so much. Any
Hello,
other?
sir, this is Priyank Sharma here.
Yes,
so
sir.
Priyank Sharma बोल रहा हूँ सर.
Yes, sir. Yes,
from agribusiness.
Yes, sir. Yes,
तो सर जो भी पूरा जितना भी दिन रहे, जितने भी हम दिन थे from the start to beginning, बहुत सारी चीजें हमें सीखने को मिली. Apart from जितने भी इंडस्ट्रीज में बड़े बड़े बिग नेम्स हैं, entrepreneurs, जो incubation centers के बारे में पता, MSc के बारे में, तो we got to know each and everything regarding to entrepreneur, how to become an entrepreneur, about business ideas. चाहे वो फिर one of my best जो मुझे सबसे अच्छे सेशंस लगे वो विवेक सुमन सर के थे, जिसमें हमने बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला. एंड द वे एक्सपर्ट अबाउट द कैपिटल बजटिंग, वर्किंग कैपिटल, तो वो चीज़ मेरे को काफ़ी अच्छी लगी. द वे ही टेल अस अबाउट इंटरनल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न, MSME, एंड मोर ओवर अबाउट द स्टार्टअप बिजनेस आइडियाज, हाउ यू कैन जनरेट आउट. तो अ वेरी गुड इंफॉर्मेटिव वर्कशॉप, एंड जिसमें हमें सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला. एंड वी कैन नाउ इनकलकेट टू दीज आइडियाज, दीज जनरेशन टू अवर स्टूडेंट्स, एंड मोर ओवर वी कैन इट्स बी हेल्पफुल फॉर अस कि हम भी अब कुछ ऐसी DPR बना सकें और हम भी अपना प्रोजेक्ट कहीं दे सकें इन एग्री बिजनेस, इन द फील्ड ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर बीइंग अ वेरी बूमिंग सेक्टर इज ऑलवेज बी बूमिंग एट द बैकबोन ऑफ द कंट्री. तो इसमें बहुत सारे आइडियाज हैं जिसमें हम बच्चों को भी बता सकते हैं, चाहे वो वैल्यू एडिशन हो या कोई भी हो. इन अपकमिंग ईयर द एग्रीटेक चार्टर आर गोइंग टू बी लाइक राइजिंग. तो बड़ा कुछ सीखा कि हाउ वी कैन गेट द फंड, हम फंड कैसे लें, एंड हाउ वी कैन एक्सेस टू दैट. And moreover, हम creative thinking, decision making, problem solving, and last but not the least, हमारे गौरव सर, he is always being very active, और जिस तरह से उन्होंने सेशंस को हैंडल किया, ऑर्गेनाइज किया, and all the guests have been there, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा. तो इसमें I have like learnt a lot, and thank you so much for all. And मुझे जो मेरे फेवरेट स्पीकर रहे वो भी अभी ऑनलाइन है, वो विवेक सुमन सर हैं. तो I am just want to thank you for him, because I just really learned a very good presentation skills from him कि आप कैसे अपने आप एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. तो माय फेवरेट स्पीकर इज विवेक सुमन सर, और भी सारे अच्छे थे, चाहे वो प्रवीण सर हैं, एंड मे बी ऑल, बट माय फेवरेट वन इज डॉक्टर सुमन सर. तो आई वांट टू थैंक्स ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ यू, बिकॉज मोर ओवर अगर हम फाइनेंशियल उसमें देखें तो आई हैव लर्नड अ लॉट. So I will definitely use it in the future and maybe generate some idea, innovative skills, so I can apply for some big project or big startup in the future of myself also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
I think I would like to take the opportunity to thank each of the participants, specifically Priyank and Satish ji. Look, this all thanks should go to Galgotia University who has arranged it. We are just a medium. As Bhagavad Gita mein bola gaya hai, we all are medium, and we are delivering whatever has been thought by a bigger authority. And here bigger authority is Gotia University and their team members led by Dr. Gaurav. So all credit goes to them. I'm just a medium. Jarra Nawaji ke liye, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I take with all humbleness whichever is possible. So thank you for the blessings and
Sir, I have did nothing. I cannot organize this 21 days TDP program as well as this 12 days FDP program without the help of Praveen Kapoor sir and Shankar Mukherjee sir. Praveen sir has given several contact number to me. That contact has given to your number, and I have formed a big network of very renowned speaker. So the people are. This is the my. I am very fortunate that several university are taking speaker contact detail from me. So this is very
that is not,
fortunate. Yes,
that is
sir.
what I'm
You're
coming to.
lucky, Dr. Gaurav. You're
Yes,
lucky
sir.
in that way.
Yes,
Because
sir.
your show has
I'm
become
coming to that Shankar Mukherjee sir, who is from Bangalore, I really appreciate, along with B. Meenakshi. They are
Namaskar,
my
sir.
favorite audience and the speaker. So let me give that credit to them, which is really due there. Also, the Varun Kaur, who has introduced
Varundeep
through
Kaur.
Yes, yes.
Varundeep
Varundeep
Kaur.
Kaur. She
Varundeep
was the
She's
Kaur.
one.
Yes,
mentioned in this discussion because she
yes.
was able to contact us through different independent directorship forum or CFO forum. So I really appreciate her as well. But it was a
Dr.
really
Gaurav.
nicely organized. Means I have been to key speaker note on different organizations. This platform is something completely different because the audience itself is so much intellectually capable that when you talk to them, it's reverberate and it becomes a synergy which is you cannot contain in a single podium and forum. So thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Dr.
Sir,
Gaurav, I would
I will.
like to add that
Yes,
Varundeep
yes, sir.
Kaur
Yes.
in our independent director group, she is the one who is primarily responsible for people like Vivek, myself, Rangarajan, all to come to this platform, and we got the opportunity to give lectures, 2 or 3 lectures, which is, I would say, we are deeply indebted to her and more to you and Galgotias for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
True, sir. Very true, sir. So here I would like to share one quote from Bill Gates on feedback. Actually, we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we will improve. In the entrepreneurship, this is famous quote from Bill Gates. And apart from this, I will take opportunity to thank Galgotia University whole team organized by DST approved FDP program. And especially Dr. Gaurav has been instrumental in designing, implementing, and tireless efforts, long hours, and commitment to ensuring the success, of the faculty development program. I was able to see and observe that he is, sharing the, status, WhatsApp status on LinkedIn. He used to share, number of things on social media also. On the other hand, yes, on the other hand, we cannot forget our participants. It was an absolute pleasure for a speaker to share his or her insight and experience with such an engaging, enthusiastic audience. So thank you so much for my faculty members and other participant friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir,
Thank you,
I
sir.
think Nishant sir has want to share something. He has raised the hand.
Hello, Nishant.
You are muted.
You are on mute.
Okay,
Nishant,
yeah.
you are
No,
on mute.
yes, you are audible.
You're muted, I think, Nishant.
Nishant, you have to remove and then speak. I think your mic is not working.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's working.
Yes,
now
yes,
it's
it is not
Okay,
better.
great. So yeah, thanks Satish sir for a wonderful presentation. Thanks Vivek ji and thanks Gaurav sir. Like you have been, organizing these events, and like we have been attending them. So really, appreciate, all the effort which goes into it, and bringing in, wonderful speakers together. It makes a lot of difference to, each and everyone attending. So really appreciate, what you have been doing. So as far as today's presentation was there, like I had a question from a little while back, so maybe I'll put that across. So like I had some experience, working abroad, like in US for a bit, and like I see, contracts over there, they move pretty quick, like as related with energy/construction in the built environment. So contracts move really fast over there, and over here I feel the process is maybe a bit slow, like with whatever little experience I've had over here. So like what exactly, sir, do you think might be the reason? Like, is it ethics? Is it the implementation of the laws? Or is it the judicial system? What exactly is the thing that, maybe a contract which takes, 5 days over there, it might take a month over here before, actual, construction is happening or something like that. So your thoughts, Sateesh, sir?
Hello, sir. I want to say something.
Yes, yes, please.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्ते नमस्ते.
सर ऐसी महान विभूतियों से मिलाने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद गौरव सर. सर
थैंक यू सो मच.
ऐसी जगह मौका देने के लिए बहुत बहुत आभार आपका. ऐसे ऐसे लेक्चर्स आपने सुनवाए हैं.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार सर.
जी सर.
Sir, my name is Dr. Shailendra Kumar Singh. I want to give my feedback for this FDP program. This FDP program is one of the best program actually, which covered like wide spectrum of entrepreneurial topics like business planning to marketing strategies and funding avenues. And each session was led by the industry expert, educators who seamlessly merged academic theory with real world insights. So the depth and breadth of the subjects covered very impressive, catering to both educators and those with prior entrepreneurial knowledge. So I would like to thank all of the speakers and organizers, especially Gaurav sir, for the post-program support of Gaurav sir was commendable. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I want to add here, sir, this FDP has been conceived by the Dr. Bala Murugan sir, who were here as a professor and holding various role at the Galgotia University. Now he is the associate dean student at Sivnadar University. He has encouraged me, and we have formed one group with Dr. Anamika Pandey ma'am. She is the associate dean of School of Business at Galgotia University presently. So our group has proposed one proposal to the DST to organize the technology-based entrepreneurship development program, as well as the faculty development program. At that time, we received some money from the DST, but the grant has been not released at that time due to some technical issue. So Dr. Rajendra Singh sir, who is the scientist of DRDO, has joined our university as a research advisor, who helped us to get this grant and to conduct this two type of entrepreneurship development program. And I am also thankful to all the speakers who never say no and have not troubled me to change their slot. I am very thankful to Vivek Suman sir, Satish sir. Satish sir have suggested several topics to me to be included that were not a part of the DST module. So we have included two more topic in this FDP apart from the list given by the module given by the DST, suggested by the DST. So there are several topics. The Vivek Suman sir also have given three extra talk on this FDP on different topics. So actually they have, yes, they have helped me a lot for the planning of this FDP. So I am very thankful, and I have received
Lloyd's అనుభవం full గా యూస్ చేశారు.
Satish sir, do you want to say something?
Well, Dr. Gaurav,
yes,
I can only say one thing.
Yes, sir.
Hip hip hooray to this entire faculty development program. It's been brilliantly conceived and executed by you and your team. And I would also like to thank all the participants who have very patiently listened to all the lectures and some of the queries that have been put up, especially today. They're really
Yes, sir.
good. And actually, the very purpose of making this type of presentation is to make it thought-provoking for the participants, and they should start questioning. The more they question, the more they will learn. That's how I feel. See,
Yes,
having
sir.
spent 40 years in the industry, I have always questioned my superiors. That is how I've been able to gain good knowledge, and I have been able to pass on that information to my juniors. And when I talk in such forums like this, the experience helps actually. Everything comes
Yes.
extempore. We cannot speak from any prepared text. By virtue of our experience, we speak. And whatever slides we present, it's basically to give a guideline. That's it. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
experience speaks. हम
Yes.
जितना मर्जी भी qualified क्यों ना हो, ultimately there is no substitute for experience. That's for sure.
Yes.
As you gain an experience, you become richer by your interaction with other people, and you learn a lot. And these
Yes.
sessions, I think more such sessions will help everybody, not only the students, it will also help the faculty members. And when there is interaction, even the speakers, there could be a new perspective which somebody from the audience may bring out a new point. Probably the speaker might have not thought about it at all. A new perspective can be brought about by especially the younger generation. आजकल के जो बच्चे हैं, they are very smart. Suddenly they can come up with some good ideas, new ideas, जो हम लोग शायद सोचते भी नहीं हैं. So these type of development programs will always help.
Yes, sir. Sir, we have received 1,162 registration for this FDP, and from 115 institution. So 526 participant has attended this FDP, and 361 secured 60% above 60% attendance, and I am very grateful to inform you that the 185 participant attended entire session and secured 100% attendance. So a big round of applause for these all participants who has attended, secured 100% attendance. Thank you so much. And I would like to request Balamurgan sir, the co-PI of this entire DST sponsored TDP and FDP program, to address the participant.
Thank you, Professor Gaurav. Participants, very good afternoon. This is Professor Bala. I am working currently in Shivnadar Institute of Eminence, Greater Noida. And I used to work with Professor Gaurav and Galgutias University. I can still remember the day, like Professor Gaurav and Anamika, we sat together. We were thinking of applying for this faculty development program funding through DST, and we were also murmuring that we don't think a government organization will fund for a private organization like Galgutias. But still, we had a very good faith because of our concept. Because our concept on entrepreneurship was in such a way that no other institute in NCR has taken it. And that too, we had a very different perspective of entrepreneurship teaching. And we worked for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Am I right, Gaurav sir? We worked for 1 or 2 weeks and made it solid. We went for proofreading, and we also got input from a lot of industry experts during the time of writing the proposal also. So I want to make a point here, like any institute, whoever they are, however small they are, however big they are, if they write a very good proposal, we will be able to get very good fundings from government organization. So this is the one point I want to take it, and I want to thank all the GU leadership and especially the DST who has sponsored the money to us, and my good friend and Professor Gaurav and my good friend and Professor Anamika. So I want to also say that, like, when we go for ranking and aggregation, a lot of entrepreneurship factor has added to it. Am I right? So we conducted a FDP. I was organizing an FDP in Shivnadar Institute last week, and I invited the chair of AICT, NB, all the big people, and I was very closely talking with them, and I could hear them saying that entrepreneurship is the next big thing. Like in US, all the top QS ranked university professors having their own startup and also making it into Unicom. So we want all our UG student, PG student, even PhD student and professors having their own startup, coming out with a small patent idea and getting it into a bigger startup. That's what even the government of India is expecting. So I am very happy to say that this workshop, this FTP will take that lead and would generate at least some 10 to 15 entrepreneurship. If not in big level, at least we have inspired a lot of people. That's what I want to say. And I want to also conclude my talk saying that Galgutta University has given us a very conducive environment for innovation ecosystem. And I wish all the other university also follow this. And I thank Gaurav and Anamika for working with me and all other Galgutta University leadership for giving this opportunity. Thank you, Gaurav sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I would like to request Professor Ranna Patnaik ma'am, the Dean School of Biomedical Sciences, my supervisor, PhD supervisor also. So kindly address the gathering.
In this morning of, thank you, Gaurav. In this morning of valedictory session of 2 weeks faculty development program on entrepreneurship, sponsored by DST, Government of India, and organized by our Institute Innovation Council and the School of Biomedical Sciences and School of Business, Galgutta University, I congratulate all the organizers and the participants for the successful completion of the FDP. I am sure all the participants have enjoyed this journey and must have carried several takeaways with them. They must have got guidelines for starting a new startup. It was to the credit of the entire team, which showed never give up spirit and kept marching forward relentlessly. I am really thankful to our IIC Innovation Cell, and we know that entrepreneurship plays an important role in changing society. So it makes sense to cultivate, motivate, and remunerate this greatest asset of the country. Entrepreneurs take on risks in the hopes of making profits, or in the case of social entrepreneurship, of solving a problem faced by the communities. So the significance of entrepreneurs and the role of entrepreneurship goes beyond the business world. Thus, entrepreneurs act as the wheel of the economic growth of the country. By creating new products and services, they stimulate new employment, which ultimately results in the acceleration of the economic development of the country. So, with these few words, I once again congratulate the organizers, the participants, and DST for this successful conduction of this FDP. And with these few words, I once again congratulate everybody. And our IIC cell, of course, Gaurav, Sumedha, for successfully conducting this FDP, and all the participants and DST. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the blessing, consistent support. Now I would like to request Shankar Mukherjee, sir, to address.
Good afternoon,
Shankar
all.
Mukherjee, yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries. I would like to pay my thanks to Gaurav sir and the Galgutiers team, along with the Department of Science, for organizing such eventful and thought-provoking, informative FDP. It is my pleasure and my privilege to be associated with Gaurav sir and the Galgotia team, because I was there very much in almost 18 months with the Galgotia. So I have seen closely Gaurav sir and the entire Galgotia team, how much time they invest and energy, the vigor they used to invest in order to developing the entrepreneurs. And this is the right platform. Many intellectual mind connects, and what Sir has just told, Sateesh Sir has told, I definitely agree with Sateesh Sir that we don't speak, our experience speaks. And entrepreneurs is not about what we speak from our experience. So there are plethora of ideas in India, but how many ideas has transformed into the real life? That we must see from Israel, a small war-ravaged country, how they are developing the entrepreneurial spirit. The father of this concept, or that person, is Vinod Khosla from Sun Microsoft. I know all of you. He was told one day, I met with him in IIM Bangalore long back. He told the spirit of entrepreneurship need to come in India also. And the spirit of entrepreneurship is not to but failures. Repeated failures and stand up from the failure. Take the clue and give your best, right? Robert Hooks did. So that's, I think, this platform can promote this spirit of failures and come up with a new model. And that can be wonderful. So I'll request Gaurav sir and to enter Galgotia teams to organize such an event in future, so that the real life entrepreneur will come and they will share their experience of failures as well as experience of success after gaining some inputs from our platform, like this which you have been organizing. Okay, so this is one area we can explore in future. Otherwise, it's a very good platform connecting the dots, real minds. So I'm very upbeat and I look forward many such events in future also. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, you are muted.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging word and helping us to plan this event also. Now, I would like to request Professor R. Rajesh Kannan, sir, Additional Dean Research, Head PhD Program, to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Gaurav. Good afternoon to all of you.
And this is Dr. Rajesh Kannan, Head PhD Programs of Galgatias University. I'm very happy to address this program, and in the meantime, shortly he has informed me for this faculty development program funded by Department of Science and Technology, and this was organized by School of School of Biomedical Sciences and School of Business and Institutional Innovation Council. And I would like to emphasize a very few points, because in India we are a very rural country, and we are India agriculture is one of the biggest backbone of our country. So that in this era, even the government of India is also focusing towards development in rural entrepreneurship. So as a faculty community, we all insist and emphasize the technology and knowledge to the students for the development of rural development is very mandate. And I strongly believe this is very diverse and very variety, and it has lots of variety in this program. 2 days faculty online program has been conducted by Dr. Gaurav, and this program will empower the rural students as well, because the faculty who are the participants, mostly I feel that participants are from the universities and the colleges throughout India. It is a quite good number, 311 participants are participated. So this will improve the technological development, business management skills, and communication and listening skills. So because in India we are in the technology, the students are in very communication. They are in fully into the technology, IT boomed country. We are the country is focusing towards technology and communications and artificial intelligence. Towards that development is very high, very materialistic. However, we need more entrepreneurship development in agriculture, food processing, then healthcare, so that the critical and creative aspects can be evolved by training. I think through this skill development and faculty development program, the faculties will be empowered, and he has conducted a very nice program, and I could see the feedbacks from different participants. It was so nice. And the entrepreneurship skills must be developed, because we need very progressive India, because the manpower is very high through the entire world is looking towards India, because we are having very young manpower in this country. So that the rural development, rural entrepreneurship is very much important. And to that, you all know, I must, since the program is organized by School of Biomedical Science and School of Business, you all might be knowing about Dr. Kiran Mazumdar Shah. In 1970s, I think late 1970s, she has invested only 10,000 in a car shed. She has developed a company named Biocon. You know, it's a well-known, she's a women entrepreneur. And because most of the, she's a very leading pharmaceutical company in India. So globally, it is the manufacturer of insulin, and now it is one of the multi-billion-dollar business they are making. So likewise, the product development should come from India. Most of the generic medicines, in fact, actually, even we are the good manufacturer of generic medicines. However, even you all know about the vaccine development. During COVID and all, we have achieved a lot, and we must say it's a vaccine war. We have supplied lots of countries and the developing nations because of the manpower and intellectual power. I think so. Students' knowledge could be transferred in the form of, so whatever science and technology we are teaching and delivering to the students, that should be in the form of entrepreneurship development. I think this program, because I could see last few minutes were very interactive. The program might feed all the participants. I mean, most of the faculties, they will empower the students for the rural development and the technology development in different healthcare and agriculture in the rural area especially. So thank you so much, and for the opportunity, Dr. Gaurav and Dr. Sumedha and Professor Anjana Madam. It was a very well organized. I could see the feedback is so nice, and keep the good work going. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, so actually, sir, the organizing committee has decided that we will give shortlist some few participants. Although all the participant has interacted with the speaker, but we have shortlisted 5 best interactive participant during the entire 12 days faculty development program, and I would like to offer them a certificate of best interactive participant. So I would like to request Professor Ranna Patnaik ma'am to kindly felicitate the first interactive participant, Meenakshi Sundaram.
On behalf of Galgutias University, please accept Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram, please accept this memento.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And next, then
Gaurav, sir,
yes.
Can I get
Yes,
the
yes,
certificate in my mail ID?
Yes, I will send.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gaurav, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And the next certificate goes to Shailendra Kumar Singh.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes. So we are
Dr. Shailendra
requesting.
Kumar Singh.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Shailendra Kumar Singh, please accept this memento on behalf of the Galgutias Universities.
So now I would like to request Bala Murugan sir to kindly felicitate the W.G. Sulia sir for
Hello.
the best interactive participant.
Yeah, hello, today please accept from Galgutia University the certificate of achievement. Thank you for being here.
Sulia sir, are you here? Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. The next certificate goes to Priyank Sharma of Galgotia University.
Balamurgan, Dean Student, SNU. What is SNU?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, sir.
And now I would request the Rajesh Kannan sir for the kindly felicitate our next best interactive participant, Kalyanam Bharti.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have our Honorable Vice Chancellor with us. So our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir has accepted our invitation to grace this occasion as a chief guest. He has joined the meeting, and now we would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir to kindly address the gathering.
Hello, good afternoon to all. Am I audible,
Gaurav? Yes, sir. You are audible.
Indeed, it is
good
a great
afternoon,
day.
sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon to each one of you. Good to see so much of a huge crowd here, right? Good number of people in attendance, and we're very pleased that speaks about the success of this 2-week FDP on entrepreneurship. So now we also, as a university, we have been promoting entrepreneurship in a big way. But you know the challenges, as I was also hearing you, many people talking about. So these students put them into, they are of a job mindset. They want to secure a job. Then it is a paradigm shift. Then we move them onto different pattern of learning. And also it is a challenge. So but nonetheless, Galgodias University is successful in bringing out 100 startups last year, and every year we have put a mandate of 100 startups to be, and probably they will be promoted into a future entrepreneurs, right? And the curriculum has so many things, and we are also thinking that moving on to a project, then probably they can take a journey of entrepreneurial journey of that 6 months or 1 year. There's also new thought process which is happening in the ambit of multidisciplinary education under NEP. We are also thinking about that. There are a lot many things which we are doing, and Gaurav is spearheading the IIC cell, and he has been doing so many, bringing in knowledge and people like you and help us so many things. Today we have our science programs, science schools are headed by all researchers, prominent researchers like Ranjana Patnaik madam to be a lead example to us. And then many of us, we are working together to push into this system. And so I would rather welcome any participant of this particular FDP would like to associate with Galgotias and spearhead a entrepreneur journey. And we would love to really welcome you to be a part of Galgotias University's journey in this side. The faculty development program initiative, we always use that as a connecting point, learning from you people, and also practice if opportunity is given working with you collaboratively. We are all open from our side. So we would love to hear, and I see that all of you have a lot of enthusiasm in participating in this 2-week faculty development program. And I also thank Department of Science and Technology and of course DST and government agencies for having funded this particular FDP. We would like to do more and more as our PhD programs also was also there, and we are ready to collaborate and work with to harness the potential of the students. Students per se our prime focus. We would like to do the many good things for them. So with that few thoughts of mine, so well done this particular workshop, Gaurav and team School of Bio and Medical Sciences under the leadership of Dr. Ranjana Patnaik and the esteemed faculty. They are very strong research faculty which that school enjoys, and this big show can be put up with their support and all of them. So I thank all the participants for having participated in this FDP. There are a huge number, holding them on to them, and also really retaining these many number at this particular hour is a phenomenal success. I really feel. Let's celebrate this success with a collaboration. We'll work together. So please join hands and for creating a better future for our our youth of India. So with that few words, thought process, I thank everyone for taking part in the 2-week FDP on entrepreneurship sponsored by hosted by Galgotias University and co-hosted or sponsored by Department Science and Technology and DST and IIC as well. So thank you all. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, sir.
For providing this opportunity.
For your
Thank you.
consistent support, motivation, encouragement, sir. Without your support, sir, we cannot do this large program, and almost approximately we are going to issue more than 550 participation certificate, and we have issued 5 best interactive participation certificates, sir. So these all participants, the 98% of the participants belong to the 115 institution from Pan India. So thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity and blessings always. Giving the supports for organize this such a wonderful event.
Support is always there. So yes. I would love to see some collaborations happening or emerging out of this 2-week FDP on entrepreneurship. That is the motto of all the, right? Either it is Department of Science and Technology or DST or Galgotia University. So that's the reason we are all putting an effort. So I would love and invite wholeheartedly the people who can participate in further journey in this continuum of this FDP. Thank you all.
Dr. Gaurav, can I just speak for a minute? I would like
Yes,
to
sir.
I would
Yes,
like
please.
to personally thank Mallikarjuna VC sir for giving people like me a wonderful opportunity to share our experience and thoughts on different topics. It's been a very wonderful experience speaking to such a diverse people, I would say people from across the country. And people like me and Vivek would definitely like to associate in future also, sir, with Galgotias. Especially our target is MSME and SME units in any advisory role which the university deems fit. We are ready to contribute, sir. And we may be sitting in different parts of the country, but now we are connected virtually. So it's very easy to communicate. And yes, when an opportunity arises, we can definitely come down to Delhi, Noida, and catch up with you, sir. It's been really wonderful, VC sir. And I would personally like to thank you and Dr. Gaurav for giving this wonderful opportunity. It's been an excellent, I would say, 4 weeks, spending time with so many people, intellectuals, and very attentive students in the first program. In the second program, you had different, I would say, PhD scholars and faculty from different universities. So it has been a really wonderful collection of people, experienced and diverse. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I think Vivek would like to
Yes.
add something. Gaurav, Dr. Gaurav.
Anyone want to say?
Vivek Suman is there?
Yeah,
think
hi. No, thank
Yes,
you,
please.
Sateesh. Thank you, KM Babuji. It was quite a pleasure to interact with such a elite institution people as well as with yourself. We heard you on the day one when you came and given quite a speech there, which we really appreciate that you put a pointer that look, everybody's attending, but I need a result, and that's how any organization works. So that attitude resonate with all the industrial participants who came in and contributed to this program, and the opportunity which you specifically has created with a team of biotechnology and biomedical sciences. Thank you and appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, I would like to request Dr. Sumedha ma'am to kindly give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, VC sir, for the wonderful speech. It was very, very enlightening. So as we end the 2-week-long FDP program, and we see that we have all our enthusiastic participants, I congratulate all our respected faculty members who have participated in this 2-week-long program and stayed with us. I hope you have had a wonderful journey. So I would like to thank Dr. Dhruv Galgotia, CEO, Galgotias University, and our very respected Chancellor, Sir, Mr. Sunil Galgotia, for supporting us and giving us their blessing for conducting this DST-sponsored FDP. I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. K.M. Mallikarjuna Babu, Sir. He has been always an inspiration whenever we have asked for any kind of support, any kind of help. He has always been there. Thank you, sir. Please keep your blessings with us like this always, and we will be able to conduct more and more such wonderful programs. So I would like to thank Dr. Renu Luthra, Professor Renu Luthra, who is advisor to Chancellor, and Dr. Avdesh Kumar, Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. R. Rajesh Kannan, Additional Dean Research and Head PhD Programs, for their continuous motivation to conduct such programs. My personal thanks and heartfelt gratitude to our Dean, Professor Anjana Patnaik, Dean of School of Biomedical Sciences, and Dean SOB, and Dr. Anamika Pandey, Associate Dean SOB, who have all been enormously helpful and have helped us and motivated us to conduct such a program. Last but not the least, our very own Dr. Gaurav Kumar, in charge Institute Innovation Council, who is the pillar of energy and strength. Like he is always there and with boosting with encouragement and energy and helping everybody and always up for taking any challenges. So thank you, sir, for conducting such a wonderful FDP and be touch with all the speakers. And a very, very, very special thanks to all our esteemed speakers. We thank you a lot from the core of our heart for taking time among all of your schedules. You have been